Can we celebrate progress tonight? America still makes a lot of progress. I mean, take something like pot. I know I will.
Hello, my name is and I'm just excited to call into your voicemail. I was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, okay, cool, I'll call. So my story is that at the beginning of the pandemic, I moved back home to Arizona to live with my dad, and he's like, I don't know, I'd say solidly liberal, like center-left probably. And so he's like a HBO and MSNBC watcher, so I ended up kind of like passively consuming a lot of episodes. And I think I always thought it was so fucking annoying. Like, his jokes aren't funny. He's not as like left as he thinks he is. Something, I don't know. That guy's just. I had to like leave the room in disgust every time. But I thought, like, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about it any deeper than that. Just like, this guy, I personally don't like him or think he's very good. Why does he have a show? So anyway, I feel more normal now about it with your podcast.
Do you see what I'm talking about with the crazy? Please.
Is anyone else seeing this?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to I particularly dislike Bill Maher. I am the presenter of this program, William Weldon. Of course, this is a podcast which interrogates the intellectual merits of disliking one Bill Maher. With me this week, I always have guests with me this week. My guests are esteemed colleagues of mine, of course, Kyle Ayers and Michael Carrozza.
Oh,
gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the program.
Take it again.
Take it again. I earnestly think it's like you're trying to beat the TikTok SEO by saying, and we will unalive him. I particularly have a dislike for.
Well, that's just me. I'm trying to just have a few moments of the podcast that have a little bit of class to them. Because I just imagine It won't take long at all before Mike is like, I'd like to take a rusty fish hook and and then throw him to the sharks.
I mean, I don't want to do that. It's just something I hope happens. Is that so bad?
So this week we will be talking about the 2025 HBO stand-up comedy special. Is anyone else seeing this?
When I looked, so I have 4 pages of notes.
I too.
And they're all like, when you said to write down 5. They were like, right, if there's 5 jokes of note you want to talk about, I had written down 5 jokes I hated, and I paused it, and I was 2 minutes and 8 seconds into the special.
The first thing I have written down is I hate him, and then, of course, the first person to stand up for him is an elderly white guy with a gray ponytail.
A little bit of crowd work in this special, so it's got something for everyone. I will say. So it's 3 comedians talking about this special. Of course, I am known for my biting social and political commentary. Kyle of late has been doing some very moving comedy about personal tribulations and getting very sort of personal, getting the crowd invested in his work. And finally, Mike is, of course, an absolute dumbass. Yeah. So we are covering the 3 genres of comedy: political, personal, and stupid.
If you hadn't said it, I would have.
Yeah, you said it, and then Mike goes, and so's Mike. I don't even want to. There's like no way to really get into how I watched this on an airplane, and I feel like it's important context.
You need to tell us.
Because I was very, very worried on the airplane that people would think I was earnestly watching it to enjoy it. So I had to like performatively write down notes about not like no one even saw my phone, but I was just so worried on a Spirit Airlines flight.
The hub of
that
judgment.
Someone would be like, "Oh, that guy in row 12 really doesn't have it together."
Yeah, like I'm just picturing you sitting there very performatively being like, no, of course not. And like rolling your eyes.
Stuff he's saying.
Nobody
and
was
shaking
here
my
in the
head
house,
back and forth.
That's how I watched this. I swear to God. I couldn't help myself. I fucking hate this guy. I watched this. In the end, turns out it was on Crave. It just doesn't come up when you type in Bill Maher.
What?
Yeah, I had to type in the name
That's
of the
great.
special.
That's how bad. That's how little he will let anyone of younger than him help him with something. He won't even let an employee at HBO younger than him help with the SEO of his own name.
I had to look up, is anyone else seeing this? And then I straight up, it starts and I go, this is going to be real bad. Ponytail guy gets up. I'm like, okay, actually pretty funny start. And then it begins with just, God.
So he got the White House again, but he's not going to get my mind.
No, Mike, you're already too far into it to be pissed off because the very
That's
first
a
thing he
second
said,
sentence.
Yeah, that
Yes,
is
but
the
the
timestamp is a
first
minute
5
6 to a
seconds-
minute 21.
the first 5 seconds is him saying this about they shot this in Chicago, not at the Chicago theater because he couldn't fill that. They shot this at where I assume IO used to be, and they shot this at a theater, and he's like, "I'm so glad we are finally doing this here. I'm finally doing one here with you." He talked about Chicago like they've been being like, "When are you gonna shoot a special here, Bill Maher?" And he kept saying like, "I'm so glad we can do this here now, finally." No one's been like, he made it literally seem just like the Yankees hadn't played in the Bronx in 20 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm so happy we could do this here together finally." No one has asked about this. He has too many specials. I don't know how many, but he has too many.
I think 17. I think genuinely he's 17
that's
specials.
Not right. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's got to be wrong.
He's so many. He would do one every like 2 or 3 years.
No,
But okay.
He has
I have a
17
story I've probably told
specials.
before.
That's just what he calls the Club Random, is where his teen special is.
No.
I was so mad that he was just made it seem like he was so, because I hate when, this town, don't we love each other, Chicago? This is no one fuck you. Like, I was so mad before he even got to a joke by the liberty he was taking for the familiarity and the yearning he was projecting onto the great city of Chicago to have for him.
Chicago, such a good city for comedy too, where like you'll go down there and get on a show and maybe one person's about to do some hack shit, but the audience crosses their arms at that. They're living for somebody who's going to give them something original, fun, interesting, boundary push, like in a way that's like, this is what we're here for. It's the art form. And then fucking Bill Maher shows up in Chicago and literally you couldn't spot a single person under 45. It's just a bunch of. I
was so mad at the familiarity that he gave. This, first off, I don't want to look up the theater and see where in Naperville it actually is, but I was just so upset at how many people had to take the Metro train to watch comedy for the first time in 9 years.
Have I told you I've seen him live? Like, he was my first exposure to Bill Maher was in 2010, or 2009 rather. He was at the Just for Laughs festival. My buddy won tickets to a show. Never
was this pre 9/11?
What's that?
Was this pre 9/11? 2009?
I think so.
Okay.
So I my buddy's like, I won tickets to this thing. It's a comedy show. I know you like comedy. Let's go. I'm like, oh sure. It's Just for Laughs. How could it be wrong? And it's we got to the show. I'm like, it's this. Who's this guy? He's like, I don't know. I think he does political stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm already done. I'm already done.
Yeah.
And the thing about this guy is that he brought out a music stand, just like one of those tall massive with a giant binder. Yeah. And throughout the whole thing, he's flipping through like they couldn't get him a teleprompter, and he's reading his material.
I would think it would be a very funny bit if he flipped through and said, he goes, Barack, and then he flips a few pages and goes, Obama.
Yeah, but then he'd be having fun with something, and that's like anathema to how he does comedy.
Least fun I've ever seen. I mean, I will, before we talk about like specific jokes, because once again, still this was the
CIBC theater, by the way.
Okay. Yes,
that's
sure
right.
That's real.
It gets shouted out early with the sign and everything.
I love it.
And Green Day did the music for this, apparently.
I guess
at the end,
I think that they might have signed on some deal with him, and like when Real Time started, to where he has like the rights to their music forever.
Yeah.
Or honestly, I could see Green Day not having learned a new comedian since then. Also, like I think to them,
Billy Joe Armstrong was punk once, and it's done.
I wrote down this was truly nothing. It was nothing. It was insane. It was a fever dream. I have never seen these type of ramblings outside of a Facebook status shared in a colorful box with a Bitmoji in the corner.
Yo, yes.
And I need to.
Excellent.
That is what I wrote outside of any specifics was me typing that on my phone. And then I took all these notes about specific jokes.
I have heard him make some of these jokes without hyperbole 20 years earlier. Some of these jokes I've heard him say some of these things literally on episodes of Real Time from 2004.
Well, I have one because you had me on early on in the podcast where we did like maybe episode 7, and he in that episode goes he does a joke that's just completely toothless, and it's about Republicans finally, and he goes, you see, I come after the Democrats, but I also come at the Republicans. Everybody's fair game. And the Republican joke is like, those guys, what are they? Too rich too rich, huh? And you see, I don't pick sides. I'm here to tell the truth.
When someone's like, his big giant applause break at.
Dude, which one?
I didn't change.
Which one that he's fucking begging for the entire
He did get on his hands and knees and ask for one at one point. When he goes, I didn't change. The Democrats changed. I was just like, you should change.
Okay, that's another one. I've heard him say that dozens of times. I will say I think
I'd like to hear him say it with a. It's just
guys, hold on. I just think it's a little sad that you guys couldn't enjoy an evening that was about celebrating progress.
And tonight, we're going to celebrate progress. America still makes a lot of progress,
You know, they were all there. He walks out and he goes, we're all here tonight to celebrate progress. And here you two are, you these regressive liberals can't even enjoy how far we've come.
Take something like pot. I know I will.
Thank you. That's the first joke I wrote down.
He looked like a rendering of a Mario Kart character. His head is too big, nothing fits.
Dude, his head is huge.
It's so big. I want to throw a turtle shell at him.
I've got one of these. Hold on a second. He looks like if they animated him into BoJack Horseman, people would go like, "That's pretty good, actually."
Yeah, but they would be like, "Why didn't they keep his human head?"
Yeah, he looks like a JRPG character from the 16-bit era. All right, we all got one in.
No. This isn't even a joke about his appearance, but I wrote in the way that the horse says Wilbur, Bill Maher. He's like, what? Bill Maher. I think it's in Charlotte's Web.
That is
man.
So mad.
That didn't hit for me at all. Is that from a book?
You gotta see Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Did you guys like that? All right, I did the stupid thing again.
That's some joke. That's another Charlotte's Web reference.
Yeah. Nice. That one I got because I read that synopsis.
Yeah. So as I said,
I would jump too non-linearly.
Well, I would think that a couple of progressives such as yourselves would want to celebrate progress.
But it interferes with virtue signaling.
I was just obsessed. I was so obsessed. I'm obsessed with people who are still like, this weed stuff's crazy.
Okay.
Yo.
So Mike, give me your first. Yeah, Mike. I did. So to set this up, I instructed both Kyle and Mike. I was like, just as I said, just make note of 5 jokes. That struck you as noteworthy.
I have more than 5.
I just took notes throughout, and all of it is like I fucking hate this guy.
I would have if you'd had me transcribe the special. I would have had less thoughts.
Yeah, it's really crazy that something this boring. Also, you can pause it every 15 seconds and have be like, what the fuck is this? What's he talking about? He makes
make sense.
He makes some incredible factual errors later in the program. I'm excited to get to.
He does the thing that infuriates. Look, we can get to that later because it happens throughout and it'll be a theme. But the first joke I have down is the weed joke. It's the one where he's like, take something like pot. I know I will. And then I wrote huge laugh. It's almost like
huge laugh.
It's almost like you can picture the pathetic little fucking loser dweeb dipshits in the audience rubbing their hands together and going, "Oh, here we go."
He sells
Bill's
lines with like
coming.
the confidence of Charles Nelson Riley on the Match Game, but without any of the charm or me liking him at all. But just where Charles Nelson Riley would be like, you know what I mean, and like sell this hilarious. That's a guy on a panel game show in the 50s.
Like Roger from American Dad.
I also wrote the weed joke down because the second punchline after I like weed was, what is this, sir? This is a Baskin Robbins.
Dude,
That's
he does.
I wanted to do this.
Sir,
I
this
wanted
is
to
a
do this so
Wendy's.
Really, I remember saying to the guy, thank you. Thank you for opening this place and making me feel like a free citizen whose participation in our hallowed democracy is now more complete. And he said, sir, this is a Baskin Robbins.
He does, sir, this is a Wendy's in
I even wrote the
2025.
Wendy's line down. I wrote Wendy's and then crossed it out for what it
Baskin Robbins.
actually
Yeah,
is.
because you got to it before he finished it. Here's the thing. The setup of the joke is, you ever been to a weed store? Like, first of all, weed's been legal for at least like 10 years. Legalization happened in Seattle before I'd ever been to Seattle, and I went in 2013. Like it started slow, but it was fast.
And we had medical. You could get medical here even further back before.
And
I know
people
he
quit
did.
People quit caring about rich people weed in like 2005.
Yes.
Like if you were
So
rich, you
long
could just kind of have it around, especially rich like performer.
Doug Benson was able to have a very public career being like,
Yeah.
I have a medical card for marijuana. And people were like, the second coming of Cheech and Chong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I couldn't believe he's like,
I love
the-
Doug Benson.
Oh God.
the
Okay,
weed
we're not
stuff
here to
was
talk
felt
about
so
that.
tired.
No, everybody check out his stuff. But all I'm saying is like, this is exactly it. Weed's been legal or like fine. People talking publicly about it for so long, and this guy's like, take something like pot. First of all, it calls it pot. My God, dude, fucking get like die sooner or learn better. I don't pick one. Like I don't understand how
That's Mike's 50 Cent cover album, Die Sooner or Learn Better. Yeah, I half expected him to be like, do you hear how fast they talk at the end of these pharmaceutical ads? There seems to be more side effects than what it's trying to fix.
Why is the
Honestly,
pilot
on the
always
cutting room-
asking me how the flight was? Obviously, it was good. We landed.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't they give you more peanuts in the airline peanuts, huh? But he has to take it again because he starts it with airlines don't give you enough peanuts. You know,
He
and
would
then
call
has to
them
redo it.
legumes just to keep up with it.
Oh, to keep up with it. Fuck yourself. Anyway,
So
he does. It's like weed's been legal for so long, and then he's like, "Have you ever been into one of these places?" I don't know if he calls it an Apple store, if that's just another hack.
he does call it I think he calls it a modern dispensary.
Yeah.
Basically the same shit. Hey, it looks so modernized. It looks so crazy. You talk to one of these kids behind the counter, and all I have to tell them is like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. It's crazy. I can't believe this place. It's the place of my dreams." And they go, "Sir, this is a Baskin Robbins." And he says it like he's the first ever to do it.
Here, the problem with that too is he specifically says, "I'm in a dispensary talking to an employee of the dispensary." It's like, no. But for that premise, for that punchline to work, you have to have the situation vague enough that it's like
the reveal.
Like, yeah, it's,
Or he gave up the reveal.
Kyle, Will, I need you to stop talking for a second. I'm just gonna, because it's important. I promise it's important.
You want us to hear the chamber spinning?
No. I promise it's important. I promise it's important. So to understand where he's coming from, no, trust me, it's important. To understand where he's coming from and the construction of the special and all of this, you have to understand that Bill Maher is not a good comedian. And I think that helps a lot. If you know that.
Well, what about when he defended George Washington owning slaves because almost everybody was doing it?
Buddy,
Yeah, it's also
Buddy!
it's weird. I love when someone
and
has
somebody
insane...
applauded in the audience. Somebody in the applause, and he goes, "Sure, we're not applauding slavery." And then somebody else starts clapping.
I really think, and I think this is a theory. I really think he paid one person to respond to some things.
You think
there's
he'd have
one
planned
guy?
it?
Hofstetter.
There's one guy who kept Steve. It's good.
He's not Steve himself.
Steve offsetting.
Go to the
It
store.
really, they just kept being one guy who would be like stage right, so on the left side of the
Oh yeah.
headphone. I'm hearing one guy would be like, "Yeah." Every time you'd have a take that was just like, "Sure," but a lot of people had slaves. Yeah. And it was just
Remember
one
the
guy.
woman who
One
went,
guy
"I
would
love
clap.
you"?
I really think he paid someone.
And that you're always safe to say, thank you, one guy.
Yeah, it
I
is
think
like
he paid some.
yeah, so he
several
could do
people.
the
I don't
response.
think people paid for this.
So he could do the response of like, "We're applauding for slavery now."
Right.
Yeah, there
He
were
had
like
a lot
three
of
of
like
them.
little. There weren't even getchas or gotchas. They were like, "Gotta be kidding me, chas," and he just kept doing them. I wrote down he had a lizard act out that got no response.
Yes.
At some point.
That was that was him talking
Oh,
about.
and then he goes,
QAnon.
"Come on, so
Oh,
nothing."
Yeah, the joke about QAnon is just he just said something that they think, and then he acted like a lizard for a minute.
It's my favorite kind of act out is when you say a thing and then you just act that out as if you're doing a little play for the audience and not comedy. Like you're not heightening it, you're not adding some humorous element. You're just like, "Hey, remember that thing I said that didn't get much of a laugh? Well, maybe the physicality will really clue you into why it's good."
But here's the thing:
Right.
some people really good at that. Some people can nail
and
that.
also,
Sure, I
these
think
lizard
they have
people-
charm and
JB
skill.
Smooth doing this.
These lizard people
JB
don't
Smooth
act
is
like
so
lizards.
good at that. Are
But
we
he
doing
should act
this?
like a lizard person, not just a lizard.
Sorry, Kyle. We were talking about a better comedian. I need to get on this while it's still
No,
happening.
JB Smooth
Not
is
you.
great at
JB
it. That's
Smooth
what
is better than
I'm agreeing
Bill
that
Maher.
JB Smooth is incredible at doing
Excellent.
the yes.
Yes.
Can we talk
Well,
about
that's-
him?
but that's-
Yeah, his lizard act out too. He barely does the thing. He just
Yeah.
he does like a quick sticks his tongue out and then he's like, "Okay, here's the other thing." When he is
in a theater, hoping people see it.
When
he
he's-
sticks his tongue out this much.
He stuck it out to the extent
this
where I
much.
thought he might be a
it's
Death
nothing.
Eater.
I-
Like that's how much it was. I was like, is this supposed to be like a foreshadowing? He's a Death Eater.
And he also does the thing every time he says, he's like, "Can you believe this stupid thing?" And then he says the stupid thing. He always reacts to it by slacking his jaw and then twisting it to the left. So he'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and then the kids are doing this. And he looks like Samara from The Ring just crawled out of his television is the face he makes. It's the
It
same
is
face.
so bad. It's also when someone's because I wrote down a lot of the times people just clapped. Another one was like, "You guys been to Cirque du Soleil?" And that one guy who I think is a plant once again clapped, and then he said, "Don't clap for them." And it's like, why ask? Did you want to be like, "Do you guys been to Cirque du Soleil?" Did you want to sit in dead silence for 4 seconds?
It's also so funny.
Don't get mad at the response to a non-rhetorical question about an unfunny thing.
Dude, it's so funny to be like, "Don't clap for them." Not, "Oh,
Don't
you're going to
clap. They're so good.
Yeah, they're like the
They
most skilled
perform.
people in the world.
Yeah. It's absolutely You guys see Matt Damon get back on that ship in The Martian, but in real life, don't clap for that. That's that's the example of what I could find most impressive.
Do you want to give us just the act out of you like opening a door to a ship and then just walking on?
him acting that entire thing out would be him going, just moving like doing the robot for a tenth of a second, be like, the whole movie.
It takes him 5 minutes to
hated
do a trans joke.
Oh, dude.
yeah.
Here's the thing.
That's when I ran out of jokes.
Yeah.
That was actually my first joke after my 5.
He wrote 16. A lot of these kids haven't even started transitioning yet. And then I wrote down. This man makes shit up and scoffs at it. I hope he dies.
Oh, he
I
makes
That
do.
Tim
I'm, like,
Heidecker
so
special, and
boldly-
this could
it's
be
so funny. Yeah.
Oh, I said that Tim Heidecker special and this could be intercut, and I wouldn't notice.
That's what Bailey said. How it looked like I was reacting was like I thought the Tim Heidecker special was real, and she saw me watching with headphones on a Spirit Airlines flight. Like she was able to pick up on that much energy because I think I paused it at his trans fats joke.
Yeah.
Or whatever the line was, and showed it to her, and she was like, "This feels like if that was real."
It's he says
Not that I think that the kids are really hurt by it, but do we really need to be loud and proud with 5-year-olds?
I love it. It's like, "Oh, really? We need to teach children to be happy with who they are at 5." It's like, well, yeah, you can really start as early as possible.
Yeah.
I think. Is
Yeah.
the
It's
It's a
consensus.
lasting impact.
Well-
You know how easy you can fuck somebody up as easy as immediately. They.
Legitimately, you can do stuff while pregnant that will ruin them.
Yeah. So yeah, I think 5 is a good age to reinforce positive thinking.
Now, Mike,
Yeah.
I've watched. We've done one previous Bill Maher special, which was his earlier one from 2022. On this one,
And also, I hate to admit, the same thing happened as last time, which is at like
You
the
loved it?
35-minute
yeah,
mark,
he started
I
jacking
realized,
off.
Had to get new
at
remote.
at the 45-minute mark, I realized I had been on my phone for the last 10 minutes and I didn't go back.
And you're just typing in numbers. That was the problem. You were just counting to
I
1,000 by typing it out into
absentmindedly-
note.
No, dude, get this. I absentmindedly was playing a game on my phone, and then when the ads for other games came up, I played those too.
Mike actually kept that king from getting to his treasure by moving the lines.
Yeah, dude. It sucked.
That was.
So I brought that
hated
up
it so
because
much.
in 2022 he was also doing like the same mask shit. He was doing like so. This
Exactly
is the thing.
the same. It pissed me off.
I swear to God. So it's one thing to have a television show and then you do a stand-up comedy special and there's stuff.
Sure.
There's like jokes from your show in the special. I don't love that, but it's like whatever. You write the jokes for the show. You're like, well, I wrote them, like, and they fit
This
in with
really
the set.
hit well. I like saying
Yeah.
it.
This he is taking simply sentences he had said on his television show and put those in, like he isn't even stealing jokes from his television show. He is simply putting full statements he said almost word for word on his TV show and putting them in
Oh,
an
and from his other
hour-long
special.
special.
That's why that
And
lizard
from his
act
other special.
matter
yeah.
joke, right?
What?
What?
The
Yeah,
lizard act that was line that snuck through. I think.
that's got to be it.
Yeah.
That makes sense why you couldn't pull it off.
Yeah.
Had a
Matter
whole
what, he would
costume.
kill it. He would have 3
Yeah,
hours.
he fucking.
He'd pull
Yeah,
a big
'cause
paper mache lizard out of a guitar.
It would be 13 minutes of the most hilarious and beautiful stand-up you've ever heard.
Yes, and then he would at the end he would pull actual adrenochrome out of the paper mache lizard.
Can we
he
talk
had.
about the Democrat pedophile cannibal thing? Because how does he sleep at night when I can't? Okay,
Standing up in a casket.
In a coffin?
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Okay, here's the thing. When you're like writing a bit, you're working on a bit. I can't let it go until it at least makes sense. Like I can spell it out for somebody.
Uh-huh.
I go to sleep. If I go to bed and I haven't resolved the thing at least enough to feel okay, I can't sleep. I can't figure it. I need to figure it out before I cannot sleep. It will keep me up. It'll consume me the next couple days until I figure out exactly how to tie it up. This man does this pedophile cannibalism thing, which is barely a thread, and he goes, if you're eating the babies, who you gonna fuck? And you're like, but where? So you're pulling a thread not from like anything, like it's like you know how you.
I think I missed that line because I think I sneezed.
Yeah, this is him talking about QAnon. He's like,
That's
QAnon
right.
believes Democrats are eating babies and also pedophiles,
Oh,
but that
that's
doesn't
right.
really work because if you're eating the babies, who are you going to fuck in a few years?
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I
Says in
wrote
a few
anything. I didn't
years.
want any evidence of me having seen that like written down on my piece of paper.
You're like, dude, and also, first of all, logically stupid as shit. The other part is,
Yeah, like
you,
as
you
if
wrote that down.
It's supposed to be an elite, small cadre of pedophiles who are also like draining children of their blood. It's not enough people that they could consume all children on the planet Earth.
And a pizza place.
With no basement.
He's
Mind
the whole thing. Like, while I hated every joke, I also felt so absolutely insulted by this thing's existence as a whole. Because, like I said, it did feel like it should have been screamed out by a Bitmoji on a Facebook status. I also believe it seems like on one side, I don't know. It felt like everything I would jokingly engage with on threads, threads at a time, where it's just like Trump. Do you guys see Trump's penis? in Hannity's mouth. And I'm like, what is like, what year is this even how anyone has ever talked? It's every single joke he had about Democrats was logistically made no sense. Every single joke he had about Republicans would have made Colin Quinn yawn during a taping of Tough Crowd. Like, it was so, it was absolutely nothing. It was like nothing. It's nothing.
HBO is responsible for giving us.
This special is what made them drop HBO and go by Max. Like, I think single-handedly these jokes were so bad. I know it switched back literally today, but these jokes were so bad they were like, we can no longer claim to be what made The Sopranos.
The Sopranos, The Wire, more recent takes, Hacks. Just
The Sopranos, what are these? A bunch of singers. Chugs water out of his weird, giant, reusable water vase. It looked like he was drinking water out of what his ashes should be in.
And will be in, if I have anything to say about it.
I was just checking to see if he was ever on Tough Crowd, and he was not, which is a bit of a disappointment.
I mean, no. What
I couldn't.
I bet
he was on The Marriage Ref.
Said no.
I can't picture Colin Quinn talking to him without making fun of him to his face at the bar at Just for Laughs in 1997, and them never talking again.
I have to hold on a second. He was on The Marriage Ref. Not to very funny riff, Kyle. Absolutely, Colin.
Thanks, Mike.
Colin Quinn would strangle him.
I love Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn's amazing, but Bill Maher is dog shit, and he was on The Marriage Ref. Clearly, Seinfeld doing a favor.
Yeah, they're friends.
Here's the thing:
they shop at the same biggest fitted hats in the country store.
They shop at the last trucker hat store in America.
They're the only two people who refer to the Dakota as where Seinfeld lives and not where John Lennon was killed.
Jesus Christ, unbelievable, Paul. I will say. Imagine you apply to be on The Marriage Ref as a couple. You're like, this will be fun, but let's bring up a thing. Let's somebody referred us, whatever. Let's go meet a celebrity and have them weigh in on our little problem about like not agreeing where to put the litter for the cat.
Is The Marriage Ref a Tom Papa show? Am I making
He was the host. Yeah, Seinfeld created it, and Tom Papa was the host.
I love Tom Papa. He's funny.
Tom Papa's wonderful. Tom Papa is the only reason that show got fucking anywhere at all because it lasted a season and a half.
Two seasons. If anyone has access,
didn't air the rest of it.
Two seasons
it's
in a
lost.
movie.
Yeah.
It's lost media.
It's definitely lost media. I want the episode that Bill Maher was on so fucking bad, but I cannot find it anywhere.
I bet you will. Imagine you signed up for this show. You're a couple that your argument is where to put the cat litter, and you guys can't agree, and you have Bill Maher using every opportunity to be like, hey man, your wife's hot, but she's treating you like a little bitch.
Yeah,
cat litter.
I don't know how I would be out of there.
2 pussies in your house.
And then he turns to the audience and he goes, "The jokes write themselves."
They don't. You have the best comedians writing them, and it makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he also has a writer from Gutfeld on his staff now.
Gutfeld himself.
Gut.
The Gutfeld.
That's the onomatopoeia for me watching this.
After he does the trans stuff, he's complaining about Gen Z.
And that's my thing about, who has the mask. It's Gen Z. It's like, who do I see walking outside alone with the mask on? What a bunch of pussies that generation is.
I guess somebody in the crowd goes, ooh, which might be, again, Kyle, that might be your plant.
Same plant.
Yeah. And by the way, let's back up to that ooh, because let me make this clear, okay? I'm very supportive of the trans community. I'm also super supportive of free speech, and I love anybody who won't let the mob tell them what to say about anything.
I bet he's going to love what I have to say to that. Yourself. I mean, he's gonna be so happy.
I want to just be like, look, I'm super supportive of everyone's right to be alive, and also I don't want to house any soldiers in my home. I'm equally supportive of these two doctrines. They're both equally important and under the same amount of attack right now, and require the same amount of weight.
Yeah, he definitely supports the trans community is the lesson I think you would take from this special. He also goes, oh, Bill, you make fun of the left more than the right. Well, because they do something nutty and they blame me for noticing. I'm not a Republican and I never
Best joke
have
of the
been.
night.
So let's get that shit off the table. So much of this special is just him airing his personal grievances with what people say about him on the internet. I cannot stress this enough. He has aired this specific grievance so many times that when he had on, you're not going to believe what I'm about to say, when he had on Matt Gaetz on Club Random, he was like, I don't care. They say I'm conservative now, but I'm not. But I don't care. Matt Gaetz went, it seems like you do care because you talk about it all the time.
Wow! Wow! That's who got his ass!
Oh, man. And people,
that's the fucking guy that said it?
Yeah.
they didn't even know he had Matt Gaetz on because he was trying to get in his cell phone contacts list.
Honestly. Buddy, what the... First of all, hilarious that the said it. You're going to have to bleep that out because he's litigious. Here's okay. Before we even get to the not a Republican, first of all, the funniest thing he said is, "I'm not a Republican," because, buddy, you are such a Republican.
Dude,
it's not even fucking. You're done. You've been a Republican.
But
You fucking moron. You had Ann Coulter on your fucking roundtable show, and we're like putting the kid gloves on. That's Republican behavior.
At the end, he goes, listen, yeah, the left is stupid, but the right is scary. And it's like, well, I did the math. You talk about conservatives for about 8 minutes of this 50 or 100 hour and 7 minute long special.
An hour and 6.
I also tried to think about how much he made fun of the right, and it was the Trump's penis in Sean Hannity's mouth. Very relevant reference and joke. It's like borderline a yo mama joke.
Yeah,
like
Sean Hannity.
Almost.
Yeah, also you're right. Sean Hannity at the peak of his powers right now.
I'm really surprised he didn't say like a Glenn Beck. Can you believe how much Glenn Beck is glazing Trump? Even like at this point, Tommy Lahren is on Social Security. That's how long these people have been around.
Unbelievable.
And then what were the other ones?
Well, not
I tried to
anymore,
write down every
she's
time
not.
I made fun of. It was yeah, that was pretty much it. The only time he really made fun of them, and then he would just like called them dangerous once. Yeah. And then he had some bit about religion that was an open mic joke I'd heard 7,000 times.
Oh, the one about
I know this because I know many religious people, and they all say the same thing, which is, when I put my head on the pillow at night, I know if I die in my sleep, I will go to a better place. To which I always say, then why don't you hang yourself tomorrow?
That's the one he's been doing that joke for 20 years without hyperbole.
He's been first of all, he does that joke so often that he leads like, look, I'm fair on religion, and somebody goes, ha!
I know who it was. That same plant.
That same plant.
That plant was there. It was actually a fake plant.
Okay, I've been dying to talk about this thing. I'm dying to talk about this thing at the bottom of my list so I can switch to the next page. Okay, just because I do want to talk about this Republican thing in a second, but I got to address this. He talks about medicine that was safe and effective before was taken off the shelves because it's not safe and effective anymore. And it's just, he's like, huh? Tell me why I'm wrong.
He had no examples.
No examples. But here's the other thing. You have no examples, but you failed to mention the power of the pharmaceutical lobby, maybe being like, if you're really going to be a critic, if you're really going to be politically minded, don't you think it's important to discuss all the moving pieces to your your entire it's just a fallacy entirely.
There's just simply it's a made up scenario to be mad at.
But yeah, especially when he ends it with the weather girl's tits are real.
Oh, that's right. These people think that's fake, but the weather girl's tits are real. I'm like, what weather girl?
Yeah,
who are you talking about?
Also,
it's just such a weird line that feels like a rant that like a great uncle would go on at the end of a family reunion.
Bill Maher is the family member you stopped greeting at family functions years ago.
Bill Maher is the family member who one of you accidentally killed, and then you buried his body in a swamp and all promised not to talk about it ever again.
Honestly, excellent.
Nice to go
I
to a
would love
swamp.
that. I would love that. You know what else? Bill Maher is the guy your aunt is married to, and everybody openly is just like, you should divorce him. And she's like,
oh, yeah.
It's too much.
This actually, I have an example of this that I actually can't even tell you guys on the recording of who he is. So remind me once we are done to tell you about a guy my aunt was married to who is Bill Maher. I will, but I can't tell you. I can't get into if I mention why that's similar. Which I have a lot of aunts. Which aunt it was will come to fruition.
Dude,
I really hate. The only thing that got me about what I do remember about the religious bit was that he admitted he has rope in his car.
I have some rope in my car. We could do this tonight.
Yeah, he's like
That's
Dennis.
fucking weird,
He's
dude.
like Dennis from Always Sunny.
Yeah. Like, what do you got rope in your car?
Yeah,
I'm
what
more
the
worried
fuck
about
is this?
you.
I will say on the second page, I forgot I wrote this. At the top of the page, I say, "What is this? Applause break the special?" And then
Oh, wow.
here's okay. This is also 3 sentences back to back, right? Okay. What is this? Applause break the special? Very funny. Good job, Mike. This is where I learned J.D. Vance wrote Hillbilly Elegy. Had
What?
no
You didn't
idea.
know that?
Oh yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. What am I? I'm Canadian. Who gives a shit? Hillbilly. First of all, J.D. Vance, I had no idea was the guy that wrote it, and then he uses J.D. Vance and his grandma as like a he's. You think he's like he just goes on this tangent going, I'm fair. I'm fair because I hit both sides. Conservatives, buckle up, baby, and then you're like, okay. He brings up J.D. Vance, Hillbilly Elegy, and then. His
He
grandmother
really roasted
saying, if you're gay,
Republicans
you're
by
gay.
plugging one of their books for a little while.
Yeah, the vice president's fucking book, and patting old grandma on the back for being accepting of whether or not J.D. Vance she'd accept him if he was gay.
Oh, yeah.
And hey,
That's him talking
conservatives-
about how America's complicated. He's like, look, America's complicated. There are country music stars with face tattoos, and the governor of Kansas is a woman, but California has never had a woman governor. And then he pauses, and the crowd is like, okay.
Okay.
So what?
Yeah, it was so. And I at that point, I was very thankful that the Democratic primary in New York had not happened the day before he recorded this, just because I didn't want to hear him mispronounce a name 65 times as a joke.
Buddy.
Oh, you talking about
okay.
don't mess with the Zortan? That would be him. That would be
Yeah.
him trying to like riff through a thing. I even felt weird doing it as him.
Get a load of this. Next sentence. So this is where I learned J.D. Vance wrote Hillbilly Elegy. Next sentence. I started watching pimple popping videos at this point, and then the sentence after, McLovin, buddy,
What?
McLovin,
Topical
all
reference.
caps.
Did he reference
He just-
McLovin?
He references McLovin.
Oh, my God.
I wrote, I'm furious. These are premises from like the beginning of stand up, but seriously,
Yes,
McLovin?
I remember Lenny Bruce getting arrested for referencing McLovin.
No. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Look,
I mean, I
now,
also
now
wrote-
you're doing his thing, taking things out of context and
No, it's
being an asshole.
no, it's
about it.
taking something literally when it was meant to be figurative is what you
Yeah,
want to be
yeah.
accusing him of. Now I'm doing Bill Maher's thing.
No,
Now
you
turn
pedantic son of a
turn around
bitch.
and drink the water with your back to the crowd.
Dude, why does he need
And
to?
don't,
as
and
you
don't
said-
cut that out of the special for some reason. He had his back to the crowd drinking water. Cut it out. Just cut it out of the thing.
The director hates him.
Why?
Let's be real. People involved don't like him either.
Why does he drink so much water? He goes and gets his water so
Okay,
many
this
times.
I agree with him. So, this is why I agree with him on this. You got to stay hydrated.
Yeah,
You
but
are
the water he had
Bill
was like
Maher.
bigger than this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was
and
just
you
like
know
the
what?
biggest.
And drink it. Come on.
At least Robin Williams had the decency to have 62 individual water bottles on one wide stool. And Robin Williams had
and-
the decency to.
and damn.
Yes,
Damn,
do a bunch of
damn,
act
damn.
outs very well is what
Grant
we're referencing.
wishes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, you saw exactly
Maher,
where
you're
the
free.
water went with Robin Williams.
Bill
Yes.
Maher, you're free. Oh wow, thank you.
So, speaking of doing jokes that are insanely old, he does the joke about immigrants, where he's like, "And if an immigrant can steal your job, what does that say about your job?" And I was like, I literally remember Doug Stanhope doing this joke in 2009.
Pretty much every joke was like,
What? That was
Democrats are
2004.
stupid because of this. Republicans, you're also stupid because of this Facebook status from 2006. Like all of those jokes were like that. And then because there's this part where he talks about the word woke and how it's evolved.
Oh, there's one
and
part
how-
where he talks about the
Yeah,
word
but
woke.
he talks about specifically. He's like the word woke
defines
has
it.
evolved
Yes.
and changed, and the meaning of where words come from is very important. And then in the same minute says, "I still say midget because words don't matter." And it's like your last breath was that words matter and what they mean matters, and then you're like, actually, you can say whatever you want because they're just words.
Dude, he loves to do that shit. Yeah, that's because he's also he's doing that in the context of how
They went after Dr. Seuss.
Oh, okay. So he does say people have it too easy and that Trump did better with immigrants because
Because liberals don't really look like they like America, and immigrants don't like the relentless negativity.
And he feels like
No, I feel like we're raising a bunch of ahistorical, America-hating hysterics in this country.
he's whining about how
This
kids,
is how someone speaks in a comedy special, is with this vernacular, this
Dude,
relatable, funny vernacular.
it's so much just whining. He is just whining on stage, and he'll lose his train of thought, where he'll be like, we're raising just a bunch of hysterics. And then he like rubs his chin and he'll be like, oh yeah, it's like in schools. And it's like, well, that other shit you said, there's completely unnecessary. There's no editing in this. He says so much stuff that is unrelated to any jokes. He also, he complains. This is something he does all the time. He's like,
And whenever I talk to my friends who have kids in their 20s or their teens, they're always bitching to me about how their kids are driving them crazy with their out-of-control wokeness, and everything is, that's old thinking, Mom. You don't get it, Mom. You don't get it. Get what? Defund the police? Tear down statues of Lincoln? Give communism another try? Get rid of the border patrol? Get rid of capitalism? You can be healthy at any weight? It's cool to have penises in women's shelters and women's prisons? No, I don't get it. Not because I'm old, because your ideas are stupid.
but like, he never engages with the ideas. He's like, listen to these stupid ideas, but he doesn't go, here's why they're stupid. Like,
No,
that's
he
the part
literally said,
that's where the
it's
comedy
not
would
that
be.
He just says, you're wrong.
Yes.
At one point. Like that, his punchline is, you're wrong. And that was briefly after he stood up off of his knees while being on both knees, begging for applause.
I will say the moment where he said people experiencing weeness for midgets and little people, that whole part, and he forces a pause after saying that. I honestly thought if they cut to black and put directed by whoever, that would have been hilarious.
Darren Aronofsky.
He also goes like, hold on,
Written by
he
David
also-
Chase.
He does this thing where he's like, we're not even supposed to say reservation anymore.
Okay. But please,
But
you
what's
I
said,
better?
love the inventing of problems and ranting about it is very, very, very hilarious.
He
He can't even say sandwich anymore because he invaded Hawaii.
That's the fucking thing. This guy sucks so bad. He just says things and then gets mad at it, and then you're also like, okay, but even if it's this bad, if someone could perform the joke, you could get something out of this. like imagine at an open mic somebody like who has it but not the ability to write yet, and you can see the spark of something there, and they show up and they go, I don't really like. I'm trying to be careful about what words I'm using. I'm trying not to say reservation because you're not supposed to say reservation. But like, what do I do at a restaurant? It's like, I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like you could find a way to do it as if it's actually like something. But this
I've
guy
seen it
tells
twice
it
now,
in
and I'm
no
not
way.
sure I agree with that.
I mean, I'm saying he's got zero fucking.
Yeah, it is crazy
charisma.
because it's horrible material, but he also isn't good at like just the comedy part of it, let alone just having nothing to say.
So
But
how
I
does
do
this
understand
happen?
what you're saying.
How does fucking 40 years of this happen?
That's
How does
what-
this man?
You've stumbled upon the premise of the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd suggest a lobotomy, but I don't think the pick would do anything.
I one time saw
the doctor'd be
Steve
like,
Martin.
it's just clanging around against the inside of his skull.
He puts a microphone to it,
It's
and
getting
and it sounds
sharper.
kind of sick. He makes some music.
It's weird. It's actually titanium. It's sharpening the edge of it on the inside here.
My next patient's gonna love this.
And he's like, "You mean impatient?" Drinks his own blood out of a vial that's behind him.
Moves the pick from the nose to the ear, pushes it real deep. I had a problem with the bit that comes up after this.
Well,
and
I do want to talk about how Dr. Seuss has been canceled. Because he
Okay,
says,
fine. Yeah.
Because he says Dr. Seuss has been canceled for drawing Chinese girls with pigtails. And I pause it and I go, there is no way that is true. I
not
remember
what it
when
is.
people... He did so many racist cartoons about Japanese people and black people. So they stopped publishing 6 books, one of which has the most upsetting illustrations of people from Africa. And during World War II, he did so many anti-Japanese cartoons that were like Bucktooth, like Crazy Eyes, the like pig nose, like horrific shit. And it's
Horrific,
like,
absolutely.
I'm sorry. I did not see one picture of a Chinese girl with pigtails.
Michael Richards got canceled for not putting the mic back in the stand. Don't look into where the mic stand wasn't put back right.
Louis C.K. got canceled for just waving at a person across the street. I mean, what is
for having 2 key cards to a hotel?
You can't even talk to your employees at work anymore. I mean, come on.
Unbelievable. I'm not gonna finish that.
CK something, say K something.
I do want to say, because like we're friends, but we're also colleagues, right?
I thought you were going to say we're friends, but we're also enemies.
No. But hear me out.
Okay.
Because I love you guys so much. I do. We're friends. I check in. We'll say, hey, how's it going? I love you. I think about you. And I hope you're doing well out in the world, even though we don't get to see each other much. We're colleagues in that we'll do stuff like this that is meant to be consumed by the public. We're doing work right now, but this is a very nice friendship hang. The torture that we've had to endure by watching this special makes me so upset that I said yes to anything that you've ever asked me to do. This special particularly.
You know, one thing that I think is like maybe the saddest...
Well, look, the fans the fans loved you. I can't. Now I can't.
Shout out to Casey.
I think that maybe that one of the saddest takeaways I can have from this is that I could have not watched the special at all, and you guys would have no idea.
What is this, faking a murderer?
I could have just riffed my way through this, and I probably wouldn't have had a single detail that like perked your ears up that I hadn't seen it.
Hey, Kyle, what is this? A great idea for a podcast about a hit show that everybody was watching at the time?
I know, there just haven't been as good enough puns about any of it since then. But that was very, very fun.
Oh my God,
Faking a Murderer was a fun one. I like that.
He talks about all the things you can't say anymore because of the ridiculous woke people for genuinely like 10 minutes. He has
he
7
talked about
examples.
how you can't say anything anymore into the microphone of his 17th special.
Oh, yeah. He also says he says you're not supposed to say homeless anymore. You're supposed to say people experiencing homelessness. I was like, no, you're not. You're supposed to say unhoused. He didn't even fucking get this right.
I know. Now you can't even like riff on that because it's all stuff you can't say.
What I hated was this idea that the whole thing about someone with a disability and being cured of the disability, the Mr. Beast thing.
Okay.
Cures blindness.
That's
in the same chunk.
Yes.
I like his description of Mr. Beast, honestly. It was just this guy who does wonderful videos that help everyone.
Okay, so, you know, Mr. Beast, the YouTuber, he puts on these amazing stunts, very often for charity.
Okay, so this is the only time I'm going to do this during this episode, but something is not for charity if you monetize the video and also get money from sponsorships in the video itself. That is literally the opposite of charity. Yeah, one of the most evil, soulless guys who's ever existed. Like a man who would be doing a genocide if he'd just been born in a different country/era. And instead he's like, I had a father of 3 bury himself alive for 2 weeks for $150,000.
This is what Jigsaw, like modern day Jigsaw is. Like,
I put 2 new eyes inside of 3 babies. You'll never guess which one became tall.
Mr. Beast's face is so devoid of any humanity that it haunts me. Like, I can't, if I come across a thumbnail of his, I need to mute the tweet that brought it up. I cannot risk having it on my feed again because it genuinely, I'm not even kidding. It makes me feel
He
cold.
always looks like all of the pieces of his face are put together from 7 different photos of him.
But
Just-
but the
I just
eyes are
shuddered
always
thinking
from
of him.
a picture of his corpse.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike,
Like
you said
if you mirror reverse his face except the eyes, that's how everything fits.
Damn.
Like the
Oh.
symmetry is wrong, but you're just like, I don't know. Is it? Did he do the zoom background weird?
I am getting like viscerally, sensorily upset. Like my skin is crawling thinking about his face. I'm not even kidding. I feel a little lightheaded. I'm not even kidding. I feel
Mike,
I'm
I can.
panicking.
So that you brought up the reservations thing where he was like,
You're not supposed to say reservation. I guess that's offensive to Indians. But what are you supposed to say when you go out to dinner? Hi, we're supposed to eat here.
that was another one where I was like 100% fake. I
Yeah,
looked
that's
into it.
never been anything ever.
What he's talking about is Hillary Clinton said some conservatives were off the reservation in 2016, and it got people talking about. They're like, that phrase refers to the fact that reservations essentially were concentration camps originally, and it essentially meant like a kidnapped like a kidnapped indigenous American had escaped from the plantation they'd been forced onto. It had nothing to do with making a reservation at a restaurant. He fully just made this up.
Yeah,
He's
it's also not
being
someone I can
willfully
picture making
obtuse.
one of those.
Yes, yeah.
This is someone who walks into a restaurant and expects them to move a table like it's Goodfellas.
Yeah. Who wants to feed Bill Maher?
It's just Bill Maher walking through the back kitchen of, sir, this is a Wendy's.
I have a feeling Bill, like, of all the celebrities you can think of, I feel like Bill Maher is the guy who assumes it's comped and tries to get away with it the most. I feel like he leaves a table and goes, "Thank you so much for having me." I bet that
I think Bill Maher thinks he
picture up.
comes off like Michael Jordan being somewhere.
Man,
Where it's like just like Michael Jordan is like, just notoriously like entitled. You know what I mean? People keep bringing up like the times like Michael Jordan just like not pay at a restaurant or something and leave expecting that. But it's Michael, like he's the
Michael Jordan, internationally huge superstar.
And I think Bill Maher also probably thinks he should be friends with Michael Jordan. He might even be the newest athlete he knows.
Mike was just showing
I
the
drew
note.
him
He drew him hanging
drew him
himself,
hanging himself.
and he also showed us the note he wrote in his notes, which just said, "Why am I doing this?"
Mike, was it a drawing
I am
or
upset
a
we
photo?
did this. I wish it were a fucking photo. That would be my phone wallpaper.
So the disability thing you mentioned, he was
Dog, let me fucking go. It's time.
Yeah, he's talking about how crazy it is that Mr. Beast did a video where
Crazy.
he it was a thing where it was like
Ocular implants, I think.
Yeah, we cured blindness. And then some people wrote stories where they were like, hey, we shouldn't think of disability as a thing that needs to be cured. We should work towards like a society that accepts people how they are and doesn't like discriminate them and treat them like they need to be like improved or fixed. And he's like, can you believe this? Like, he's so upset. But it's like, well, hold on. Who was writing those opinion pieces? Because I bet the people writing them were themselves disabled.
Or
it's like he's
know
like, well,
someone
why
who
would we
is,
build
at least.
why would we build wheelchair ramps when Mr. Beast can give a teen eyes?
I love that he just kept saying fix me. If this fix me. And here's the other part of this that pisses me off. Not just this idea that he's so ignorant to the possibility that people are like, first of all, there are people out there who live with their disability for so long that yes, being like cured of it would be such whiplash that it, like, I don't know, it would be like a huge adjustment, and maybe it doesn't take all this stuff. There's a lot of things here that are just like, maybe it's better to go with the life you have. And the other part is, do you know how much this fucking costs? It's America.
Yes.
It's America. It's like, think about anybody who's had any sort of surgery at all. Kyle, you want to chime in on this? It's gotta
It's the
cost.
first time you see commas in money.
Dog, it is absurd. And I'm not even out in the States. In Canada, it's still gonna cost, like, it's not like gonna not cost you anything.
You know what was such an interesting reaction I had to this joke in particular, as someone who has what can qualify as like a disability that could, and also something that could be and cured but was and wasn't cured. You know what I mean? I'm like kind of right in this weird wheelhouse of like fix but don't fix but live but quality of life, all this sort of stuff. I was still so, and I didn't write anything down about this bit. I was so upset at how unfunny the whole special is
Entirely.
that I couldn't even get past that to be mad about other parts of it, let alone this thing. And I earnestly, because maybe this is the one that I have the closest attachment to, it's what it pisses me off when something that has such depth to what the concern and the idea would be, which when we're talking about a disability and fixing or curing or vernacular around it or making better, any of these things is such a loaded, insane literally case by case, completely for however many tens of millions of people but I'm just so mad there's nothing funny.
Yeah.
That I'm just I can't even entertain it, that it's a thought for me to have anything else about, because I'm so mad that it's so void of jokes the entire time that I couldn't even bring myself to be it's also ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, this is an incredibly long stretch, because then he moves on to these are all his examples of how stupid people are. So then he gets in.
Can I get this one? I want to say the thing.
Okay.
He says he calls colleges ignorance factories.
Yeah.
And remember how earlier he said he's not a Republican? I can't get over it. It's
entirely because of the Gaza protests. That was when he developed his hatred of universities and colleges, was after October 7th.
It should happen soon. I really want it to be.
He also he talks about, he's like,
Scientific American. Can't get much more mainstream than that. Scientific American now believes that the only reason the Los Angeles Lakers would reliably crush any WNBA team is because of societal bias.
I wanted to fact check wherever this came from, but it just all felt, there are too many proper nouns that for me to believe he knew what he was talking about.
So I did. Don't worry.
Thank you, Will.
So
this is how you found out the owner of the Lakers funds ICE was searching this study.
It was, so the two stories from Scientific America were trans girls belong on girls' sports teams, and sports celebrate physical variation until it challenges societal norms. So neither of those are about.
It actually
really
sounds
about
like
pro
it kind
sports.
of agrees with him.
So it's his it's because, and this whole thing where he's like, look, I support trans people, but he will always talk about trans women as if they are men. That is his framing of them always.
Yeah.
So to him, a trans woman would be on the Lakers. Because at the end of the day, you get two drinks and he'd be like, oh, but is it really? And he also says, then he goes, The Atlantic, The Atlantic published an article about how the Scientific America, after he talks about those studies, he goes, where has that study been published?
The New England Journal of what the fuck?
This was also another example of him saying, here's where this is from. Where is this from? A made-up place?
It's the most Dennis Leary bit ever. It reminds me of him going, www.whatthefuck.com.
Oh, man. I would buy a truck that Bill Maher was selling me, though.
And then he brings up an Atlantic article titled "Separating Sports by Sex Doesn't Make Sense," which cites a bunch of studies that actually show, scientific studies that show that athletic performance actually can be dictated by societal expectations, and that the range of differences within a gender is much greater than the range of difference between men and women. So the difference between the worst man and the best man is so much greater than the difference on average between men and women in sports. But it's he doesn't know anything about how hormones your athletic performance is largely dictated by hormones.
It hasn't been challenged anywhere, and it's not just an idea that men are bigger, stronger, and faster than women.
It's he doesn't know anything at any point. He doesn't cite anything. He doesn't have any specifics. Again, this is another one where
because he doesn't care about anything.
It's really
he doesn't
wild
care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about anything and hasn't. This man doesn't stand for anything.
Yeah.
He wants to be the guy that people praise, and some people do. But the thing is, he's lying to himself when he says that these people are intellectuals. The people who praise him are fucking brain dead monkeys who fucking suck. And I think that he should fucking monkey see, monkey do their asses too. Every single one of them need to fuck off and die too. They're such idiots.
I do think everyone who really likes him, everyone who really, really likes him is someone who's fallen for an email phishing scheme this decade.
And is in
The
denial
last
about
5
it.
years.
And it's just, no, I actually do think that guy needed a Best Buy gift card for my computer to run fast still.
Oh my God, Kyle. They're the guys that would walk into an Apple store sweating their fucking balls off, going, I need to buy 3 gift cards of $500 each, please.
It is a lot of people who like they
App
enter
Store.
someplace and it's the first time they've been in society for a really, really. One time a guy came in, and this is a guy came into the Apple Store one time and did not have a reservation to be helped. Sorry, why I'm supposed to be here to be helped. And he had a newspaper.
You
with
can't
him.
even say Apple anymore because it reminds people that John Lennon and George Harrison are dead.
Wow.
Because Johnny Appleseed gentrified a field.
I'm sorry, guys. Are we just forgetting that the apple is the fruit on the tree of knowledge? I mean,
Oh, it's sexist
can't
to say
talk about
apple. Of course,
Oh,
a
women
woman
like
to say apple.
introduced sin.
Women like fruit, but men just like ribs.
and that's when Tom Papa says, "Okay, Bill, we need you to give us a verdict on this couple's argument."
And he would have his hand on the woman's leg when he told them to get divorced. His like
brag
arm
about-
would move like Mr. Fantastic in the trailer, just all the way over to the other side of the set.
Oh, God.
Oh man, it really, really like it was so, I don't know. It's like Trump is intentionally funnier than him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And a much more. I'm like Trump. I'm like, who is someone who is funnier than him and a worse person? And it's Trump. But I'm like, Trump tries to be funnier and succeeds more often than Bill Maher in this special.
I mean,
The
he
thing
does.
is, I don't even know if Bill can be unintentionally funny at this point.
I think
No.
Trump understands what he's talking about more than Bill Maher.
which is honestly so scathing.
It's really. I'm like, I think Trump has a better grasp on the weather than Bill Maher.
Yeah, it's he
'cause-
he is less aware than a man with active, serious cognitive decline.
Yeah, it is really, really. I mean, at least Trump didn't go to the Four Seasons landscaping thing because he knew it was wrong. I think Bill Maher interprets headlines as though they were at the right place.
Dude, I remember having a moment where I was like, you know who would have never gone to dinner with Donald Trump? Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump would have
Yeah.
been like, what, am I going to humiliate myself in front of this guy who's been saying the worst shit
Yeah.
about me forever? But Bill Maher
He
was
would
like,
never
no, I'd be
be-
happy
yeah.
to.
It is absolutely. I couldn't believe how void of like any sort of anything he was. Anything. It was literally. I wrote down "this is nothing" 6 times on my paper because
the
it's
next-
legitimately nothing.
We've gotten to the part of the show, the special where I've stopped listening. I was on my phone for 10 full minutes.
You didn't come
And then
back in when he called something the MySpace of sex positions.
Okay,
Nope.
so before
I
that,
did not.
he does say
I
children
wrote
are
down my
as
time
dumb
check.
as dogs.
They're children. They're stupid like dogs.
Yes, children are
Oh,
dumb
wow.
as dogs. I like
Didn't
when
he
someone's like,
say,
I don't
like,
have any
that
kids, but I know
somebody's
everything
marching-
about them.
Didn't he say something about them marching for Hamas at some
Okay,
point?
hold on. We will get to that. That's important.
Okay,
to me.
again, I don't.
I know.
My notes. I'm just
Yes.
trying to get a gauge of where
No.
we are because all I have now is time check. My first time check was 11 minutes. Second, 32 minutes. Third, 43 minutes. And then I really
At one
hate
point,
Bill
I did
Maher.
think, I bet this is 45 minutes in, and it was 11 minutes into the special.
So he says, he goes, they're children. They're stupid like dogs. And then he's talking about how kids are so coddled. He's like, I'll be at my friend's house.
Kids as young as 10 will invite themselves into the adult conversations, and no one stops it. I mean, if I ever did this, I remember my parents in the living room with their friends. If I ever just walked in, I've had some thoughts about the Vietnam War that I think everyone... Get the fuck out of here.
And then he doesn't say what would have happened. He does an act out that doesn't have an ending with anything happening to him. And it also is like, I'm sorry.
It's almost like he's trying to be like, if I did this, you do the math.
But
Yeah,
like,
I think he really wants to imply he would have been abused by his parents, but I think his parents probably didn't abuse him at all, and he didn't want to like make some lie that his family would know was completely fabric. You know what I mean? It's like he wants to cosplay as having a worse go of it, which is honestly the only thing where I've seen him relate to a lot of comedians that I know is he wants to cosplay as his life being harder than it actually was.
so his dad did beat him at least once. He's talked about, but then we go on to, these kids at elite universities, they're pampered, they're being cry bullies, telling what you, at one point he says every year colleges come out with a list of words you can't say. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking
Every
about?
year.
Every year.
That's true. My school
The
was
forbidden
Kansas.
words.
Mine was Kansas Jayhawks. You can't talk about them because they were our rivals.
You know what I love about being friends with like many college professors that I keep in touch with is that around August we're all in the same email thread. One of us will go, "You guys ready for the list this year? That it's going to be pretty good."
Oh, let me guess the top two words: white and men. Okay. Then he's talking about how the kids, he's like, oh, they're cry bullies who bully you into not saying anything. And that's when he goes,
That is when you weren't protesting for terrorist organizations. Really? Really? Marching for Hamas? It's like rooting for the planes on 9/11.
gentlemen, how many times would you guess I have heard him make this exact joke?
I gotta be 5 times.
Oh, knowing my boy Bill, I'm gonna venture 18.
This is the 5th time I have heard him. So I
Wow,
will.
Kyle
yes.
nailed it.
Yeah. And
Maybe
here's
I've
the
just seen
thing.
the same episodes.
Here's the thing. It has bombed. Not
Every
episodes
time.
of his TV show. He has said this during interviews. Like, not even a place where he should be joking necessarily, but like real interviews with like Larry Wilmore or Chris Cuomo. Every single time he's done it, it's bombed.
Protesting for this terrorist organization, Hamas? That's just crazy to me. I mean, it's like if they were around on 9/11, they'd be rooting for the planes.
Yeah. Well,
For Hamas? It's like rooting for the planes on 9/11.
Yeah. Well, I know
That's
you
a
spoke
joke,
a lot
for
about
fuck's
that.
sake. I mean,
Like if there's been a
Well,
crowd,
it bombed here.
Yes, it bombs here, and he literally has to repeat the
Say it
punchline.
And
then
he
they
goes,
applaud.
I knew you'd take a second for it.
I say that's like rooting for the planes on 9/11. I knew you'd agree with it if you just gave it a minute. I know it's kind of shocking at first.
Well, you need a second punchline to hit the joke.
Okay, that's the only good thing to come out of this, I think.
I wrote down, because I wrote that line down, and I wrote down, how bad did this have to be for me to not like it?
Oh man, it's just he says that, and you go, really? And I like to imagine that the second time he says it, someone on staff comes out of the wings of the stage and gives the audience a stern look, like, you better freaking applaud.
I don't know why didn't he say like the terrorists on 9/11? He said the airplanes.
Yes, like, yeah,
Those
it
are
could just
physical things.
Like it's like rooting for the hijackers on 9/11.
The hijackers,
Which is
Mark
why-
Wahlberg, anyone.
That works better. Hey, let me just say this. I was rooting for the planes on 9/11
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
down safely.
They lost.
I was
Yes.
They historically lost. It
Yeah.
went 0-4.
Yeah.
Even the one that it was almost 0-3-1, but it was 0-4.
Few things have taken a bigger L than the planes on September 11th, 2001.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, yeah, like you said, not even a gentleman's
Whoa,
sweep.
whoa! Don't date the podcast, Will. I think we need this to be.
He tells the college students to take a gap year in Iran and take their Queers for Palestine sweatshirts with them.
They'll love that, he says.
I'm just such a big fan of like, oh, you think one thing? What if every bad thing happened?
It's like the laziest. It's Twitter. This is what you deal with on Twitter from the conservative side. This is how you know he's a fucking Republican. This is the Republican thinking. Oh, you want one good thing to come out of your life? No. You want to complain about something that's actually a valid complaint? Well, what if everything else? Huh? Oh, life's pretty complicated. Many colors on this palette. How about that?
It's a cousin to when it's like, we should do this policy. And then somebody's like, well, have you considered that will lead to the worst possible outcome? And it's like, yeah, when you boil it down, it is true that, hey, if you do a thing, something could happen. Yes, that's 100% correct. That's not a good argument, though.
I'm gonna a little peek behind the curtain here on the show for the for the listeners. Okay,
yep.
Put this.
Yeah, Mike is changing. He's gonna let us see him in his underwear.
I'm just letting you know. When I say that, I hope Bill. I know that, like, I'm saying it in.
You mean
jest.
like?
Yes, exactly. I'm saying it like it is a joke. Like it is a joke. Do I really want him to, like? Am I hoping for it actively? No. But I've considered that it's a possibility that he could hear this and it happens. And that's a thing that I've considered. And so it's the same argument that's like, if you do this, then don't you know that the worst possible thing can happen? And the answer is like, I've thought about it and I think it's still worth it.
That's the thing is, I think he might listen to this because he certainly has plenty of time. He's not writing a single thing down to where he could be consuming everything about him online.
Dude, what is the construction of this special? Because after all this, then he goes,
and you wonder why the left catches more jokes from me? They changed, not me.
And it's like, how many times are you going to say this? Can you
Just
not
change, dude?
Dude, write all your jokes down you want to do and then go, well, these are all about this. These are all about this. These are all about this. And if you want to throw in some callbacks, whatever, he is jumping back and forth between the same four subjects over. It's like the kind of thing like you're doing somebody's bar show and they're like, hey man, none of the other comics showed up. So like you can do as long as it's fun. And there are 7 people there and you're actually having a good time, but you're just like rattling through whatever's in your brain.
Yeah, it also got like weirdly dirty at the end, I think, if I remember right.
Oh, wait.
Hold on. It just really had an odd tone shift that felt like could you imagine someone's in the back of his special taping doing this? They're like, stretch. He's like, what else do I got?
Oh my God. Okay, I have another I have another bad act out for you guys. Okay,
wait. One more thing. Because he says this is why they have. I haven't changed. They've changed. This whole thing. It all comes back to this idea that like this is a dipshit who criticizes both sides in quote unquote equal measure and goes, the left is. I criticize the left for being annoying, and I criticize the right for breaking constitutional law. And you know what? I gotta say the annoying ones are worse, and that's why I talk about them so much. But don't forget, this does not make me a Republican. I am criticizing the right for breaking constitutional law. However, that's okay because I'm cool with it. But I'm not what I won't be cool with is you calling me how dare you? First of all, ever
I feel like
call
you recorded
me,
this special like it might be admissible in court at some point.
dude. Honestly, oh man, I hope he goes to court. Oh, Bill, don't kill yourself.
He will. He's going to go to court to be a pro Alex Jones character witness. Where he's like, you saw the guy cried. He had his seatbelt on while he was crying.
That's safe American for you.
I forgot exactly because I was getting really haphazardly upset with my notes by the end. There's something I wrote a punch up to one of his jokes about Jurassic Park, but I don't remember the joke anymore.
Oh, that's coming later. That's in the dirty stuff.
Okay.
I got to talk about. So the
There's a married couple joke that I want to talk about. So put a pause on that one. But otherwise, I don't remember any of this part.
He has an act out where he's like,
5 years ago, penises meant something. Now it's like, congratulations, you had a boy. Well, let's not be hasty. The penis? Oh, come on, that's not really relevant anymore, is it? It's a small factor, but I thought it's like a sixth toe at this point, just a useless vestigial appendage. I understand now when they circumcise, they very often lop the whole thing off. It just saves us time later when it becomes toxic.
I watched this at 1.2 speed because he is now so deliberately and slowly paced, I can't handle it. So I have to speed him up so his speech sounds normal. He does that whole long act out.
17 hours of stand-up. That explains it a little bit better.
Oh my God.
He talks about how he's like, they're so cavalier about gender reassignment surgery. They act like it's not a big deal. And it's like, oh my God, this is like a bizarro universe where it's like, oh, it's so easy to transition. It's so easy to get gender reassignment surgery.
The hardest fucking thing
and then
to get,
dude,
like you have to go through rigorous.
Yeah,
the part when he's like,
just more that was nothing.
The part when he's like, you know, they make a penis by taking a piece of skin off of your leg or a piece of flesh off of your thigh and making penis. And I was like, wait, what? What is he talking about? So it's a thing called phalloplasty. I tried to see how many have been performed. It's like there were sort of like different studies. It seems like there have been maybe like 1,800 performed ever. And it is, you literally like reconstruct a penis and you like rearrange like the urethra and everything. But what it's primarily done for is men, like cis men who have like unformed genitals, whose urethra is in like the wrong spot. Like it's something that is overwhelming. And also for guys with like micro penises, which they have to come up with a better technical name for it than micro penis. It's like not nice
works.
That's what I know, but like
it could be called our crow instead of just like one person's in specific.
But it's like, that's what that surgery's for. It's also so rare. Like, I know more than a few trans men. I've never heard any of them talking about getting a phalloplasty done. Because it's like new. It seems like it's a pretty new surgery that has a lot of complications. He's talking about it like it happens all the time. And then he goes,
I mean, with so many people doing this, isn't there some better way, some sort of exchange? Have a penis, give a penis. Need a penis, take a penis. I mean, there have to be solutions, people.
He actually even said take a penny, leave a penny wrong because he had to say it twice. He was like, take a penis, have a penis,
yes.
Lose a penis, get a penis. And I'm like, I thought you hated Dr. Seuss. But we seem to be here.
No. He doesn't hate Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss was canceled by the woke left.
I didn't even get to say what I wrote down about the Dr. Seuss thing. Was like, how are you going to talk about Dr. Seuss for this long and have nothing fun sounding?
Yes. No.
Thank you.
Not even embracing the easiest type of humor to do about
Not
Dr.
even
Seuss.
like 1 cancel, 2 cancel, 3 cancel, 4.
Okay.
It was like, it could have been anyways.
I have one line before we get on.
Well, so I want to show you guys something first. About the take a penis, leave a penis.
It's Bill Maher's penis.
This is a clip. This is a clip.
Will, is this with your phone?
This is a clip from the fourth episode of Club Random from 2022 with Bella Thorne.
What?
Oh, I think there's some money to be made in some sort of exchange with everyone switching where, like, you know, if you need a penis, take a penis. If you have a penis, give a penis. You know, like if people are becoming like men to women, they're going to cut off their penis. And then there are women transitioning who are going to need a penis. I feel like if there was some exchange,
I heard
maybe
her
Bitcoin
exhale.
could be involved. And you could, you know, no?
Everybody on the wow. I did not mean to talk over that.
Oh no. It's okay. She wasn't.
Everybody on this
He gets
show
so
looks
mad at
like-
her for being offended. He gets really offended that she's offended.
I heard her at one point go,
That's how long he came up with that 3 years ago. It got that reaction, and 3 years later, he put it in his HBO special.
Let me say this.
It's
I
take
can't
a penny, leave a penny. It's the name of a thing at a gas station. Not have a penny, leave the penny, need the penny, take the
Also,
penny.
and also as something I've said every time this episode has come up on the podcast, I have to say, what's a more relevant thing to joke about than the take a penny, leave a penny dish? You know how
Right.
we're always interacting with pennies every day of our life?
Absolutely insane.
Mike doesn't even have them anymore.
No, we don't. They're gone. We got rid of them like years ago, a decade at this point.
You know how
every
people
clip of-
can't decide what gender they are, so they're always hitting that hoop down the street with a stick.
They're doing
You guys
the ball
know
in
this
the cup
hoop on the
thing.
street stick?
Yeah. Hoop stick. You know, it's what the
Hoop
kids
a
who don't have
stick.
polio play.
Well, polio's coming back, so that might be too modern.
Oh, are we
yeah.
dating the episode again? Now we got polio with iPhones. So okay, every clip I've seen of Club Random, except for Bill Burr calling him like an asshole, I'm guessing that was on Club Random.
Yeah.
Everybody looks like they regret saying yes, and
Well,
visible,
Mike
and not
and
even
Will
trying
could
to
talk
hide
to
it.
this more, but like Will showed, because I went to the live episode of this podcast, and he went through a lot of this episode of Club Random. She's having a bad time
Yes.
Shut up.
because he is trying to physically touch her a lot.
Yes. At one point, he grabs her hand and starts going through her rings. After
Touching
that,
her inside of her thigh.
he grabs her boot. He's like, I love these fucking boots.
Okay, remember when I said don't kill yourself?
He's like inspecting her how I would imagine like Ursula would inspect Ariel if she was like trying to coerce her to not go on land.
I have decided to take a break from weed for like a couple weeks now, and tonight I'm gonna go get some more after talking this extensively about this fucking special.
Well, you know who loves weed is Bill Maher. So does
You
that
shut
make
the
you
fuck
think
up.
maybe you should stop smoking weed?
Mike, how do you even get weed at these stores? It's like you're at an Apple store.
Actually, Kyle, that was a Baskin Robbins. Thank you very much.
A Baskin Robbins? That's like the most.
I know.
The literal newest thing he referenced in the special was Baskin Robbins.
Are those more popular than Dairy Queens out there? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
so in Los Angeles, yes. It depends on where you are in the whereas like I'm always excited to see my in-laws just outside of Boston because there's a Dairy Queen right by my sister-in-law's house, and I go, no lie, at least once every other day because it's a full food and ice cream.
Okay,
Yeah, you
well
can
that's
get
fun.
Texas toast with your upside down ice cream.
Dude, the Texas toast is so fucking good. It's
What's
crazy.
Texas toast?
It's like toast. It's like kind of like sesame. It's like a thick piece of toast with like garlic, salt, and butter. A lot of butter on it.
Okay.
Yeah, but not like crisped up.
It
Oh,
depends.
man.
Like a-
guys,
yeah.
guys, you know, do you feel that? Do you feel that? Look at how nice this is. We're not talking about.
We all did get a lot. We literally talk about Dairy Queen, one of the worst restaurants in America.
Okay, now I'm upset again. Now I'm upset again.
I like that Dairy Queen recently has sort of embraced like having no identity as far as their food.
Yes.
I know.
You know what I mean? They'll be like, we have ice cream, and you can come in and you can get. We have a meal. It's 11 chicken nuggets and a mozzarella stick, and we put a hat on one of them for
Pretty fun.
Superman. And you're just
For
like, oh,
Superman.
okay.
Yeah, come in.
I like Superman.
Come in and get a hot dog and some mashed potatoes
Yes, they
with
do
your
have- that's
blizzard.
right. And you're like, do you guys have broccoli? Because it looks like there's some in here. And they're like, sure.
Yeah, just
We'll put it-
you
we'll
see
put
a
it in
guy,
there.
the guy go to Ralph's next door. Yeah, all
Don't
right.
explicitly have it. We could have it. How much?
At this point, I wrote down, I really hate Bill Maher. I think it'd be great if he stopped everything.
It was good of you to withhold judgment for this long.
So he then he talks about, oh my God, he says that America is the only country that handles trans healthcare with kids the way we do, which is obviously not true. He equates being trans with young kids wanting to be pirates and princesses when they
It's like,
grow up.
the countries that he wants to equate America to treat kids better, and he's just lying and saying they don't.
Absolutely.
Because you know he's picturing Scandinavian countries. You know that's what he's picturing. They always picture like these
'Cause white.
democratic socialist white countries, and they're like even Denmark, but they are.
So
They're being nicer.
what he's thinking of is England, notoriously known on the internet as Turf Island. So okay, then he's complaining about how Dems never use the word liberal in their ads because it's gotten so mixed up with woke bullshit that they're embarrassed by it. And it's like, they have not been using the word liberal since literally Bill Clinton. Like, Bill Clinton famously did not call himself a liberal. And I know that because that's something this guy has talked about on episodes of his television show I Have Seen from 2004.
Yeah, I had never even thought about that.
Like, buddy, have you ever seen Real Time with Bill Maher? It might discourage you from making this claim.
Oh, you mean the thing he plugs in his own special?
Dude, yeah, watch. Yeah, when he's like, watch Real Time next week. It's like next. I love how even he thinks this thing has no. It expires tomorrow. Like he thinks this thing has no lasting appeal.
Absolutely insane. I was this. It made me feel like the World Series of Poker is happening right now, and this guy, I can't remember his name. Doug Polk, I think is his name, Polk. He's a famous. He's like a poker player who has a card room, and he was about to get knocked out of the World Series of Poker on national television, and he just started plugging a website with his coupon code, and I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life because he had kings and he had aces, the other guy had kings, and then the guy hit a third king. And so he's like, has like an 8% chance. And he just starts going like, go to pokerblah.com and use code Doug10 for 10% off. And I'm like, this is the funniest way to lose a thing on national television is to scream like, go to casper.com/WTF like over and over again on the thing.
Do you have any last words before you are executed? Use code I'm a murderer for 15% off your mattress.
Right. It was just so funny. And I'm like that, but at least this guy was like ironically desperate and not please watch my other show at the end of a thing that only people who watch your thing will watch. Yeah. Also, there's no new audience here.
The name Doug Polk reminds me of
poker
Jess
player?
No, well, yeah, but also Jess was watching Love Island and they were like promoting an after show. And the voiceover was like, it was an Australian woman. And it was like, with this person and this person. And then she's like, and from Love Island Games, Deb Chubb. And we have been laughing about the name Deb Chubb. Said it in an Australian accent for like 2 straight weeks of just like, Deb Chubb?
Deb Chubb just sounds like a spokesman for that shorts company for men or whatever. That would be in like all of their ads.
Chunkies or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
Hey,
I can't remember what they're called.
Deb Chubb.
It's Chubbies.
Chubbies. Okay, right. So Dems never used liberal. Okay, so now we're at democracy is like your verge. Now he's back to, listen, I'm going to talk about Republicans now. I know I have just hated on every single core Democratic constituent, young people, college students, the LGBTQ community. But now I'm going to talk about Republicans and how they want to end democracy.
He's already talked about Republicans, though. He praised J.D. Vance.
Yes, yeah.
That's true.
He praised J.D. Vance's grandmother.
Yeah.
He goes,
but what the right is doing, not conceding elections, no. When that's gone, it's gone forever. It's like your virginity, and then you're a whore. Is that what you want to be, America? A whore?
That's right. This was like even like a tone and vernacular shift to where from here on out he's just like, who talks like this? He's talking how he thinks high schoolers talk.
Dude, he was talking like I did a show years and years ago. My first girlfriend after I got divorced. She was, I think she was like 24 or 25, and she used to go to a lot of comedy shows. I was 27. It was fine. But we went to I was on the show in Huntington Beach, and she came with me, and I was on last, and just slowly over the course of the night, all the women left, and that corresponded with and all the comics on the show were men. So a very dark energy slowly came over the whole show to where the end. After the show, she told me, she was like, I genuinely, if you had not been there, I would have like asked someone to walk me to my car. And that's the tone shift that Bill Maher makes. Just like, it's not funny when he's just like, is that what you want to be? A fucking whore?
It made me feel so odd on the plane. I tried to screenshot it and they don't let you. And that's how I found that out.
You have to turn off like high-speed processing or something.
I was on my
your
phone.
Browser. Yeah, okay. Hey, he says the Electoral College is the only thing worse than regular college.
Great. It literally sounds like a card from Quiplash.
Mike looks like he got dumped 10 minutes ago.
I want to get to the thing that I remember writing a funny thing for.
So he says he wants to be a good environmentalist, which is not true. He flies private everywhere. He starts complaining about kids again. Like, Can't you just have a kids chunk in the middle of your fucking set?
It really was all
that
over
would
the
make
like
sense.
if you he really only talks about like 4 things, but he never talks about one thing twice in a row.
It's
this is what I had such an odd time for why I hated this. Like I would
There's
have to
no
power
flow.
rank why I hate it.
Nothing.
And a lot of it would be like the material is almost third for what, because I'm just like, it's unfunny and it also is difficult
Paced
to
poorly.
follow.
Yeah.
And then it's bad.
You're unmoored from time. Like it just sort of it sets you adrift, and you're like, I don't know what era. Like if I saw everybody suddenly walking by in like bell bottoms and hippie blouses, I'd be like, sure, I'm in the 70s. Why not? I don't understand where I am otherwise.
It's such a problem when you actually don't believe anything. You have no like core like thoughts or beliefs other than what do I think benefits me most in this exact immediate second right now.
And fitting in with that, he then defends anti-abortion people. He calls Jeffrey Dahmer Jeff, and then he praises prisoners for murdering child molesters in prison.
That's when I clocked back in.
Oh, what did he say? Yeah. Oh, it worked. The system works, I think is what he said, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is literally an example of how the system could not work worse.
Yeah.
Then he starts talking
It's
about
like,
religion
some of the
again.
Some of the kids that get shot at school shootings had bad grades.
Hey, they might have gone on to shoot somebody themselves. So
they could have grown up to hate my show.
I'll say, coming back to like the pacing of the whole thing, like imagine this as an album with the track listing. It all feels like it would be like Democrats Part 1, Kids Part 1, Religion Part 1, Kids Part 2, Democrats Part 3, Kids Part 3, Religion Part 2. You know,
and also the tracks are listed, the order of them, it's like 1, 7, B, 14.
Like when a boarding group for a plane makes you feel like you might never get on.
Yes, yeah. We're now
I'm a letter.
Yeah, we're now boarding group Omega. Omega group, please board the plane. Unless you have children, in which case proceed to men's room.
In your group.
Well, I'll be waiting.
He's very pro-circumcision as well. He's talking about how great that is because he watches porn.
Right. That felt tonally odd and weird.
Dude, that was so weird when suddenly he was like,
circumcision, I'm a huge fan. Couldn't live in a world without circumcision because I watch porn, and how can you look at that thing, let alone put it in your mouth?
It also was just such an odd. He's like, everyone thinks too much about kids want to change. Anyways, here's my thoughts on all strangers' genitalia. My specific thoughts. I have a take on this from multiple angles. It says I've never spent this much time with any of this ever in my life in my head.
Hey, also, if the penis you leave has its foreskin, is that worth more or less in this instance?
Oh, that would be a take of 3-ness.
Oh God,
Mike, you missed it all.
My headphones are wireless. I heard the whole thing.
He says plastic surgery doesn't work. It just makes you look weird. Factually incorrect. He lives in Los Angeles where there are people walking around who have had impeccable work done. Like, I'm sorry, I know how out of control it can get and like whatever standards of beauty, but like I've seen a lot of people walking around in this city. He also, I'm positive he's had his hairline.
Yeah, I don't believe him saying it. It just felt. I mean, it felt exactly like I'm not a Republican. Here's why I hate Democrats. I've never had plastic surgery. I haven't. I swear I haven't. It's like no one's even bringing it up, man.
I've never had my hairline fixed shirt is causing people to ask a lot of questions answered by the shirt.
Even Matt Rife was like, I think you've had something done.
Nice. I hate that this guy's commenting on other people's appearances at all when he like looks like that.
Yeah. He looks like that senator in X-Men who's slipping through the bars because he doesn't know he's turning to jelly.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
I think Vera Drew said the exact same thing. Yeah, it's like he looks like his X gene has started to decompose.
Yeah, he's sort of just like turning to that gel.
Okay, so now we've gotten to the part.
The Democratic senator who's slipping through the bars in X-Men because he's turning into an X-Man.
Because Bill isn't a Republican.
So this is when he says that 69ing, he's like, people are always like, oh, 69, as if this is even a thing, okay?
They all do the same thing, elbow in the ribs, 69, as if anybody ever did this. It's the MySpace of sex positions.
What does that even mean?
So he's saying nobody ever actually does 69, but the real issue is, well, MySpace was very popular for a period
actually very,
of time.
very big. I also can't picture him laying down without needing help up.
He then denies that 69ing is a thing that even can be done.
I love when someone's like, sex with women, this is fake, right? Because no one's done this.
Guys,
not just me.
This has been talked about on the show because he said this when he was on Love It or Leave It as well. But I once again want to reiterate, he is saying that the act of 69ing can't be done. And the specific reason he gives in this instance is because...
And I couldn't do it. Are you kidding? You know that thing they say, women say, that you're supposed to, like, do the alphabet with your tongue when you're going down on them? Who can remember the alphabet when you're getting your dick sucked? I was like, A, F, follow, Shohei Ohtani. I started mixing it up with the baseball players I was thinking about to stop from coming. I mean...
It's certainly an interesting walk.
Well, hold on a second.
You
have to also acknowledge that there are people in the audience who are recognizing this and are rewarding it with laughter as well.
No, it's just this one guy.
It's Mr. Ponytail from the beginning.
It's this one dude. That was such. I remember thinking, I'm like, because this also fits nowhere else in the rest of this, and it just seems to once again be a gripe he had against one night he had in 2004 with someone he paid. And it's such an odd, like, it's just like one prostitute he hired just talked her way out of a bad time. And Bill Maher's like, yep, nobody does this.
He says he goes, they say, actually, women say you're supposed to do the alphabet when you're down there. And I'm like, no, they don't. Women say, I remember reading that in like a Cosmo when I was like 16, going down on my girlfriend for the first time. And pretty quickly she was like, I don't know, it's just like a little strange. Like, this is a 70-year-old man who still thinks you spell the alphabet with your tongue.
He's 70?
He's 70.
That's
he also
why he
does an
thinks
impression
69
of
doesn't
it.
exist because he no longer is.
Yeah, like, well, he's not.
He aged out of the sex position.
Oh yes, and then he's like, and then he goes,
he's 70.
Can I ask a question just of the women about that thing with when the guy is doing the alphabet? Can you tell what letter we're on? Because I would really love to know that. And a follow-up question, does it have to be the English alphabet? Because I think you're missing a big trick with Chinese. It's 2,000 letters and a lot of curlicues and the roof of the pagoda. And, I could see a guy with a carton from the takeout place trying to...
And then he's like, and now I'm just picturing a guy looking at a Chinese takeout box going,
I didn't fully understand that. And I also don't think he thinks that there's that many Chinese characters because I've seen what he names them in his books.
Dude, like, oh, yes, right. Very famously in his book, he wrote a novel about doing stand-up comedy. And, well, no, actually, Kyle, you're wrong because the character he named a slur for a Chinese person was not Chinese. They were just simply very racist towards the Chinese.
That's right. TBS, characters happen, or whatever.
Dude.
He is 70 years old. Okay, I have a question. No, but seriously, question here.
In a row.
He's 70.
Yeah.
He's 70 years old. He's clearly made a ton of money. And honestly,
he's a part owner of the New York Mets.
He has so much money.
He owns the giant apple that comes out if you hit a home run that's shaped like him.
I'm unfamiliar with this thing.
Oh. He's shaped like their mascot.
I have to know. He's 70.
Yeah.
He is super rich. He's clearly got nothing to say. He can pay people to be around him if he really wants that. Why is he doing this?
So he's done. He said he's at least taking a break from touring. He might be retiring from stand-up fully.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
Oh my God!
Wow, Live Nation is in shambles.
Yeah.
The
only person I hope they do take a merch cut from, honestly.
I think he does it because
merch?
I think he does it because he thinks he's good at it.
I hope he comes back wearing what is it? Wearing the 3-4.
I think he sells a red cap that says "really" on it with a question mark.
Make America sane again. You know he
yes.
sells a hat
Oh my
that says
God.
that.
Yes, he would sell a hat that says "Make America Sane Again." 100%. Guys, to go back to the special, I know we're all dying to hear.
Yeah.
So at the thing he says, he talks about eating pussy via drawing the alphabet with your tongue. The next thing he says is, "Let me go back to kids."
Right. Right.
Hey, I know I've been talking about fucking for 10 minutes, so
You hope the
a natural
alphabet was the
transition back to
transition.
children.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it is in his brain. It is a natural transition in his brain because he is famously I'm trying to word this correctly. Like, he is obsessed with women being as young as possible while it's still being
he's a guy who
legal.
knows states' rights.
Yes, my joke about him. I'm not saying this
didn't
is
even
true.
do a joke about the age of consent being raised from 14 to 16.
Yes, yeah, and he's like, still
And who
not
would
good
know that?
enough, but it's progress. Yeah,
Who would know that? But a fucking
he is a libertarian. He is a self-described libertarian.
what a loser.
Okay, so this bit, what's so incredible is he goes, listen,
70.
Said a lot of bad things about the kids, and I just want to say one thing from the bottom of my heart.
and you're like, oh, he's going to say something nice about kids. He goes,
I really think there's never been a harder time to be a parent, and my hat is off to anybody who be a parent.
and then he just keeps talking shit about children.
I also like when someone says it's difficult to be a parent because kids suck. It's like, it's the parent's fault. A kid doesn't come out.
Also,
sucking.
what are the difficulties parents have? Or it's like you got to work so much, you don't have time to spend with your kids.
Yeah.
Daycare is expensive. How do you get them to and from activities they might want to do? The
Republican
people he spends
Party in
time
the
with,
country.
dude, the people he spends time with do not have those problems with raising their
Yeah.
children. Theirs is just like, oh, my awful kid I ignore is a piece of shit
Maybe
to
he's
me.
talking about Seinfeld raising his girlfriend. He's like, Jerry's girlfriend couldn't buy a margarita at the Mets game the first time we went. I know this is a long time ago, but it's never too late to make fun of Jerry Seinfeld for being like that.
Dude, being like that, huge quotation marks about being like that. He says, everything I see is just so ass backwards.
I feel like, yeah, I don't have kids, but everything I see with them, it's just so ass backwards. You know what I hear a lot? My kid is my hero.
Now, look, I know.
No one's ever said that in their
I've
whole
never
life.
heard
Maybe
anyone
so,
say
yeah.
that.
Not even
No
a
one's
single
ever
time.
said that in my entire life.
I've heard my kid is my best friend. I've heard that before.
And that's fucked
sad.
up and wrong too.
That's very
Yeah.
sad.
But like, my kid is literally, my kid is my hero. I've never,
Not
ever
even
in my
once.
life.
No one's
Can't
ever
even
said anything
pretend.
like that before. You know what I hear all the time? This made-up thing that feeds a thought.
Dude, and then he goes, oh, I see movies and TV shows where the parents are always apologizing to the kids. And it's like, hey, those are fictional, man. Those are movies
Also
and TV
fake.
shows. Yes,
Fictional and non-existent.
Exactly.
So here it is. This was referenced a while ago.
Yeah.
This is when he goes, my dick is like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. They're gonna get out.
This is why I lost my, because I'm like, this is why I know he's so, life finds a way is the line from Jurassic Park. How is that not your punchline? Even if it's a horrible joke. It's a horrible joke. It makes
Not
no
even
sense.
worth it. Yeah.
But life finds a way is maybe the most famous line from the movie. How is that not? It's a fucking T-ball ass reference
Absolutely.
right there.
My sex
and
life
it's about
is
penises. Penises make life. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you, so stupid?
my sex life is like Jurassic Park. My dick finds a way. Like you can even throw in a
right
Jeff
there.
Goldblum
Yeah, because
in the middle.
this
of it.
guy looks like if Jeff Goldblum was fainting all the time for 40 straight years. I couldn't believe he didn't. Because I guessed that joke when he said it, and I was like, I can't believe I skated where a bigger, better puck was going.
The only part in this bit I thought was maybe kind of a tiny bit funny is when he goes, I went on a hike once with my dogs. 20 feet in, my dog laid down and was like, fuck this. And I remember being like, well, that's a little funny, but his dog did it. It's like the only funny person in his special is his dog.
I went away from that thinking, I bet he doesn't have a dog.
He's got two dogs. He doesn't train them.
But I just would assume, like because he invents so much stuff to like facilitate.
Right.
I would just be like, I bet he doesn't have a dog.
I bet he keeps a bunch of rooms intentionally empty. That's what I feel about him. I just don't. I feel like he is a vacuum.
Now, what does that mean? Is he? You think he's what? Like a victim? Like
he just buys more space than he needs to have it.
I just think that there's no life to him in any way.
I see.
I just think it's like a white room is just a room for him to stand in, for him to go, me, and that's it.
It's me from here.
It's me from here.
In his party house where he films Club Random, he used to have fake movie posters up on the wall that he was photoshopped into.
I'm just like,
that's what I'm fucking talking about. This guy is such a fucking okay. I'm so mad. This guy, honestly, here's the thing: a regular person would do that, realize how sad that is, and then they would take the next step to either getting better or fucking. Honestly, I'm so sorry to do this again, but like fucking, Anyway, I
think when we saw the clip from Club Random at your live show, I literally took away from this. This guy likes most of what I've heard Epstein Island was.
Thank you.
Except the kitsch is less fun. Like he doesn't have a painting of Bill Clinton in Monica Lewinsky's dress,
right.
Or like a statue of Baphomet or whatever.
Or a moon
he's just
bounce.
He's like, I've just got me photoshopped into movie posters.
I was just like he just wants this weird fluorescent light hang.
Yeah, that's Timothy Leary's chair on the wall.
Wait, what movies is he photoshopped into? And one of them has to be The Hangover Part 2.
But he's
the baby on the front of Zach Galifianakis.
That's so funny.
I think the movies are all fake. I think they're like made up movies. Like I think the whole poster's made up.
He couldn't even get Photoshopped to hang out with him. Like he couldn't even get a friend.
Oh man, that's so sad. I hate that this is making me pity him a little bit.
So in Reservoir Dogs.
Now we've entered the territory where it's like Kyle's wheelhouse of puns, and we need to wrap this up. We need to go.
So he says,
just more evidence that humans aren't really that different. I know the kids think that they can reinvent humanity and that we're all fluid now and gay and trans and non-binary and on the spectrum, but we're not. How do I know we're not? Because The Bachelor is still on. That's how I know.
Okay, here's the thing. I got problems with this, and we skipped the thing. We skipped the thing, by the way. I want to come back to it.
When he fantasizes about his romantic partner dying in a plane crash?
Oh,
the whole long bit about that is so it's so funny when he's like, and everyone agrees with me. I'm like, no one agrees with you,
dude.
You hated a lady.
I don't know. I'd never be the same if my wife died in a plane crash.
Exactly.
It's the kind of thing you think about, and you're like, I simply would be a different, lesser person for the rest of my life.
And like he's like, freedom, baby.
Yeah,
like it's. I would get a tattoo from Cowboy Bebop that said, "You're gonna carry that weight, see a space cowboy." I would be so unbelievably fucked up from something like that happening. That's the kind of decision making I would be doing.
He's not even rooting for the planes. You know what I mean?
Get the fuck out of here! Unbelievable. Kyle Ayers
you're rooting for Hamas. That's like rooting for the pilots on the day I want my partner to die.
That's like rooting for Katy Perry in that SpaceX flight. Or was it Amazon Space? I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it was Amazon.
That whole bit comes after him going, I'm not meant for a long-term relationship because there's nothing to talk about. You see these married couples, they just talk about the weather. And they say, oh, this place has good this or that. You ever been to a restaurant, you see a couple that's been together for too long and it's run its course? I feel so bad for them. I want to go over there and put a revolver on the table and say, one of you figure it out. And then I perked up when he said put a revolver on the table because I went, aha, so he has a gun. He should use it.
So he got rid of all his guns. He said that in an ad. He said that in an ad on Club Random. He was like, I got rid of all my guns, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't.
All I
that.
use now is TurboTax.
Well, somebody broke into his house, and I think he became one of those old guys who was like, "I'm going to get a gun so I can accidentally kill myself someday."
I think we're being too nice to him about how he's like, I don't think I'm meant for a long-term relationship. You're 70 and you're single with no kids. You're 70. You're 70, and he's like, I just don't know if I'm going to have kids. You're not.
Yeah,
You missed it all. This is a bit for 35 years ago.
Well, he did go out on a date with Al Pacino's ex, so he could theoretically still have a child.
I'll say he better not have a fucking child. First of all, okay, he does that whole bit with the married couple, and then he does it like, I can't be in a relationship. I had this girl over once, and she said I had to change the bed because she could tell other women have been in it.
This never happened. This is a fake thing that never happened.
Exactly. And then he goes,
this is the thing he told a woman that was poorly received.
Exactly. She said, you have other women in your bed, and I can tell. And he goes, but you had other men in your vagina. And you're like, hey,
the way you
Bill,
said it was funnier than him.
It's just, what a sad sack of shit this guy.
But no, this is clearly
he
said to a woman, he tried to buy a woman a new bed after one date, and it backfired, and she didn't talk to him anymore, and that's where this bit came from. I'm 100% sure
where
the bad person on both sides of this bit was him. Yeah.
I will say the whole Bachelor thing. Let's just be real here. Again, it's that thing where he's not
one of your passions, The Bachelor.
Well, right. We stopped doing the Bachelor podcast because The Bachelor is not really. It started sucking a lot more than I thought it would. Married at First Sight Australia is where it's at. You should check out my podcast, Stay or Leave. It happens when Married at First Sight Australia is currently airing. So The Bachelor is still on. Is the point
McRib of podcasts?
Exactly. So here's the thing. He thinks he's making this point, being like, people want to say that there's more trans people now, or like gay people are around more, or like, and you're thinking about like, hey, this kind of programming should be taking the forefront. But guys, The Bachelor is still on. You know what I mean? As if it's like
newest thing he references.
Exactly. And he goes, it's the thing that's catering to the majority. Like, good luck with your thinking there, buddy.
He loves The Bachelor.
Engage. But like, why? Why is this man? Why? He watches The Bachelor not because of the interpersonal relationship interests or anything. He watches it because 22-year-olds are on there going, I love Jesus.
He could be on
and yeah, right.
I was blown away he didn't mention Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift one time.
He does all the time.
Shocking.
He does all the time on his show, yeah.
I was just blown away it didn't come up.
Do you think there are deleted scenes from the special?
No, I don't believe this man had a second of material to spare.
No. He didn't even delete out chugging water.
Which accounted for 4 minutes of the special, mind you.
He says Facebook has, please, gentlemen. He says Facebook has
Shut the fuck up.
He says Facebook has 56 gender categories. I'm happy for all of you.
Great. Enjoy. I'm sure there are people who, identify as a cat and shit in a litter box.
Here's how you know. This is how you know he doesn't do anything but read right-wing websites. Because this was such a thing where it was like, oh, woke schools. Now there's a school with a litter. Oh, my friend knows somebody where their kid's school had a litter box because one of the students identified as a cat. And what it really was a school had had cat litter in it in case there was a mass shooting and they had to lock down and one of the kids had to go to the bathroom. It was like an emergency last case scenario for a child having to go to the bathroom during a mass shooting. I believe
this story is the equivalent of how you weed out a mole with the false information in the mob.
Yes.
Like this is how you weed, where they're like, we plant this location. We gave everyone different info. So whatever comes out, we find, and the cops show up to whatever location.
Yeah.
Like this is how you weed out a mole, is with this particular story, not just in his shit special, but in everything. People who buy this story because it's so specific and so wrong and so incorrect that this story is how you weed out and not only does he only read weird, he doesn't even have bypass the paywall on the Newsmax.
Not even a little bit.
Like he's probably putting it into archive. He's not even smart enough to do that. He just can't. He doesn't even have a subscription, so he reads the first 16 sentences of.
Why
articles.
would he need a subscription to news when he runs a show where that's I guess
Because
the
he's
point.
stupid.
So he denies the existence of lesbians when he says, "I'm sorry for being crude, but girls like dick. They just do. How do I know? Because they put up with men to get it." Okay, so here's another thing where he got some stuff. He's talking about how in movies, it'll be like a non-human, and the women, and all they have to do to like woo the woman is to be nice to her. And the movies he lists are The Shape of Water. It's like the fish man isn't really nice to her. It's more that it's more that they like have, because they both feel different in this world. They have that in common.
I'm surprised he likes that movie because he looks like if they had a kid.
I don't think he liked the movie.
And remember, again, he's listing things where a non-human woos a woman just by being nice to her. His next example, Beauty and the Beast. The Beast is famously not nice to Belle.
Yeah, like
He's a
bad
captor.
guy.
He's kidnapped her.
And then he goes King Kong, and he kind of makes a joke about like, oh, he takes her to the top of the Empire State Building to where the nicest restaurant is. And then his fourth example, he goes,
The Hunchback of Notre Dame is not a great-looking guy. He gets laid because he writes her poetry.
and I was like, no, he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't even get laid.
No.
Esmeralda's just nice to him because he saves her and she starts to view him as a human because
Maybe
she
he was
sees
thinking
that.
about Rudy when he talked about the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Also, you know how comedy famously loves for examples?
Yes.
The third one hits hard, so you might as well add one that's wrong and worse.
That's the Bill Maher style for you.
Okay. Now this is something, they talk about how there's a crisis of masculinity and young men don't have good role models. I think if we just told this,
notes.
The little dehydrated man on stage says this.
I think if we told this to young men, this would help them a lot.
I mean, guys, women have not changed that much. They're communicative creatures. They need to be wooed. You got to think of that pussy like a nightclub, and you're not on the list.
Yeah, wooing.
Yeah,
So
I love wooing.
So-
This is how I get into nightclubs that I'm not on the list. I put $50 on top of the pussy.
I just swipe my ID.
So my joke for this, when he said that, the joke I immediately thought of is, think of that pussy like a nightclub and you're not on the list. My first thought was, okay, so my friend should sneak me in the back door. Like,
Nice.
there's like a million punchlines, but instead he's just like, you got to talk to her and be nice. He says, you got to compliment their hair. Notice what they're
you do to a
wearing.
bouncer.
You got to compliment their hair, notice what they're wearing, and ask about their day. And it's like, this man has not had a real interaction with a woman in decades.
You know how you get into a nightclub? You leave $250 on the nightstand before you fall asleep.
Dude,
Under her pack of cigarettes.
How do
I
you get
loved
into a nightclub? You show up with other women.
yes.
It is almost like a
100% true.
Sports improv game.
Yeah, like we're just sitting here mockingly
Trying.
coming up with better
Yeah.
punchlines.
185 bills Maher into the bar.
Yeah, you just
Come on, man.
dude, you got to think of that pussy like a nightclub and you're not on the list. You scream at the pussy, "Don't you know who I am? I'm
Don't
Bill
you know who
Maher,"
my
before it
father
lets
is?
you in.
You call your friend Gino and say, "Hey, I'm at your club. Let me in, your wife."
Okay. So then he says that we've
I don't know,
pussified.
man. I hate this so much.
Then he says men are too pussified. We've pussified men too much. And then he starts complaining about how even James Bond is too pussified these days. Now, this is something he complained about to the Instagram model Hannah Stocking.
This is when I checked out. If you can't notice, I wrote James Bond ? And then didn't write any more notes because I just gave up.
He complained about this to Hannah Stocking on Club Random, where he's like,
back in the day when James Bond was allowed to like fuck hot chicks. That's now
God.
they could really
they
pussify him.
James Bond.
I mean, he on this one, it's so pathetic. He literally takes his girlfriend and her daughter on his mission to save the world. He practically stops off at Target
to buy tampons on the way to the underground volcano lair.
Yes, it's because that's what this is the woke world we live in.
Right.
So that is not what happens at all. But the Daniel Craig James Bond, the first movie, starts with him quitting being a Secret Service agent to hang out with his girlfriend. And she dies, and that's what gets him back into MI5 or MI6? Yeah, 6, right. So 5 is domestic. And not only that, but in not Spectre, in Skyfall, everybody thought he and the bad guy were gay. So like, this James Bond has been woke this whole fucking time, man. Like, even if what he said was accurate, it would not at all not be in line with how this James Bond has been portrayed.
I just simply can't be like, where there's a lack of masculinity, Daniel Craig.
Yeah, he literally says,
Oh, for Christ's sake, can't we have one badass, toxic, masculine guy who fights crime in a tuxedo?
And it's like, are you 5 years old?
What for? Hey,
and most of the Daniel Craig movies.
He might as well have said, "Can we have the guy put the siren on the fire truck, please?"
Can I just Google boobs at work without everyone getting mad?
Why is everybody being weird about it? Yeah, I'm in the middle of a presentation. I thought you want to see something fun too.
This is how it's like a little bit like when you see people just it'll be like a picture of some famous woman or something on Instagram, and everyone's like, "Ooh, could you just Google sex? Just Google
yeah. Honestly,
just Google sex. There's tons
out there."
Well, he can't. So the thing is, he can't enjoy Reacher because Adam Richson, I think is his name, is extremely woke and very religious. So Bill Maher is like offended to the core of his being that the star of Reacher is one of the most fundamentally decent guys and also like a very open Christian.
I like that he believes so little that if someone believes two things, he can't watch a show involving him.
That's so fucking funny.
And then
God, that's funny.
He complains about how he's like, he literally stops and he goes,
All right, I think we did good.
Yes,
great job, everybody, right?
That's how the special ends. I spent the rest of the special.
Ends.
I spent the James Bond thing on wondering how he's going to dismount, and I was like, I bet he just kind of like finishes like a camp counselor would finish talking, and it is.
Yeah, he's like, we all came together. We have different backgrounds because that's what it's about. Even when you disagree, you have to be able to sit down and spend time together, like my parents' generation did. Thanks so much. Watch my show Real Time this week.
Yes,
like,
I know.
So
it was insane.
You were like, how's he going to dismount? How he dismounted was he looked at the guy who works at the stable and goes, "Get me off this horse now."
Yeah, he dismounted like those Olympians you see run into the pommel horse instead of handspringing over it.
That's so funny. Here's the thing about the dismount though. It's kind of like, like a gymnast doing an illegal move and landing it, and you're like, whoa, that was kind of impressive. Because I laughed so hard when he did that.
Can I ask you this? Would you have liked the special if the whole thing was the same and then he was taken off stage by a long hook? Like around his neck, if he was that aware to just be pulled off stage like in like a Bo Peep-esque old vaudeville hook.
He literally goes, "We did good, right?" Like he just like that was fine, right?
Yeah. Mark Maron dismounts podcast episodes more formally than he finished his HBO special.
Also, on Maron, I do love that he stopped the podcast. He was like, "All right, you won." Anyway, I love Maron, but that made me laugh too much.
Just imagine.
He's right. He's absolutely right. But anyway, go ahead.
A huge respect to a guy who's like, I literally cannot do this anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and
he's making so much money off of it.
Yeah,
and he's just
and he's
you can't
correct.
pay me to do this anymore.
He's correct. He is so right. It's painful. But the fact that he goes, "Okay, You win. I was like, that's hilarious. That's so funny.
So that's the special.
Beautiful. It's nothing. I said it 100 times. I have really
it's nothing.
It is nothing. It is not even enough of something. It is more unfunny than it is bad, and it's the worst thing I've ever watched.
So you know what it truly, genuinely reminds me of, it's like, look, I mean, she deserves it, but people take so many shots at her.
Ooh.
It reminds me of that Amy Schumer special she did in the black leather pants, where 10 minutes in, you're like, is this your first set after you recorded a special? Because you're just on stage like, where are my girls at, huh? And then kind of like
wanting money that month.
You're just like tossing premises out to see if anything's there. And you're like, this is a Netflix. I remember watching some of that and being like, I can't believe what I cannot believe somebody let this come out. And watching this, I was like, I've never in my life seen anything less polished, less worth putting out than this.
I couldn't agree more. This was jingling keys for babies if babies were also 70-year-olds with ponytails.
They
and
are.
Also if your keys were all stuck together, so they didn't make a noise, they just kind of rolled around on the ring.
And you're like, this is pretty good.
If
actually.
the keys you had were to all of the homes that aren't for sale.
It's so out of 5, because this is this is going to be a main feed. This is going to be a main feed episode. So this is going to be a main feed episode. Just to break things up, I've done 7 straight chronological episodes. I was like, we could all use a break on the main feed. Also, I don't have anybody booked for the next one, so I figure I might as well put this out.
I can't even give this a hate watch 1 out of 5 because it's not even fun to not like.
No, it's not.
It's like nothing. A 0. It's a 0 because it's insulting to something I love like 25 different ways.
What I'm so pumped about is I can't wait for people to get to hear the progression of the energy of the two of you. We're at the start. Literally, I could not get you to stop talking. It was like impossible to control the podcast. And by the end, I was just reading out of my notes, looking up, and you guys were just sitting there staring
attentively.
at me.
I Googled at one point during this, what time is it today? But that's what happened with my notes too. Is it by the end it's like instead of like 18 notes about one joke stinking, by the end I wrote James B ? The guy who famously says his last name. I didn't even give him the time of day.
I will say I agree with Kyle in that this was not fun to even hate watch, and the fun comes from. So my girlfriend got home after work last night, and we went to walk the dog, and I just finished watching the special. And I was distraught, like visibly upset enough that she was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Oh, I just have to watch that thing." She was like, "Is that bad?" I'm like, "Here's the thing. I love my friends. I get so excited at the prospect of hanging out with them for a little while. I enjoy myself. I like talking with them. I laugh a lot. They're good people. I'm happy they're out in the world. I love them very much. They're people who mean a lot to me. And so when you get asked to do something like this, you go, of course, it's going to be a good time. But you don't know just how much you're going to torture yourself to get to the fun part. And I was like, and tonight I'm going to need some space. I told my girlfriend I needed space last night after watching this. I said, when we get back in from walking the dog, I need to do something I really, really like, but that I can kind of just like be quiet in. And I need some space. And she was like, perfect. I have something that I need to work on. I was like, yeah, I'm talking like I need to like do the dishes
I'm going to get a hotel room tonight on the other side of Montreal.
I'm like Googling. I'm just going to do next year's taxes today.
I put on the loudest music, the most like cyber grind fucking nonstop blast beat music I could find, threw that shit in my ears, and just washed a pot 6 times.
It wasn't as clean as I wanted it to be.
That's our show, everybody. You can find Kyle Ayers on the fucking wherever you find them. And
what would you guys, Mike Carrozza first? What would you like to plug?
At Mike Carrozza, MikeCarrozza. I have a podcast called Am I the Bullcast about Magic the Gathering. Stay or Leave about Australian Married at First Sight. But also check out my dates on my Linktree. I'm doing Just for Laughs this summer. I don't know when this comes out, but if you're in Montreal, July 18th, I'm hosting the Best of the Fest, and I'm part of the Montreal series. July 23rd, I'm opening for Ivan Decker with hopefully some more to come. And then in August, I'm in Vancouver, BC, doing a bunch of shows. So come see me out there at the Comedy Underground. And jokes, please.
And Kyle, what would you like to plug?
I'm Kyle Ayers on all the things. I have a podcast about not watching movies called
so
Never
fun.
Seen It, where people rewrite movies they've never seen. Will famously on the most edited episode in the history of the podcast.
Yeah, Mike, I'm Kyle's you.
Wait, what happened?
We'll talk about it later. I have to leave.
Right.
So,
What
and also
movie did you do?
It doesn't even have to do with that. It's just the craziest conversation we've ever had.
We kept talking about fried cum. It was 3 former roommates, and we just kept.
Okay.
Diego and I wouldn't stop talking about fried cum.
And then if you're in New York, I'm gonna be doing shows at the Soho Playhouse for 11 days there.
Are you doing
in
Hard
September.
to Say?
Yeah, I'm doing
Awesome.
at Off Broadway. So if that goes well, maybe we'll make a special. Kyle Ayers on all the things. That's where it'll be. Thank you for having me.
And you got a Substack.
I have a Substack, kyleayers.substack.com. Make jokes about being in chronic pain. I have a weird brain disease that puts me in pain all the time. Write about that up there.
I got to see an early version of the show because you sent me an early recording before you went to the Fringe Fest in Edinburgh, and I loved it. It was very funny but still informative, and like you're doing a great job with the story. It's so moving and so good. I highly recommend anybody in New York, please go watch this. You're gonna.
I saw 7 minutes of it on a show, and it was very funny. It was great.
Yeah,
it was really good.
I mean, I put it out 7 minutes at a time, and I think it's made it funnier because of that. Like earnestly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's it. And don't watch this thing that we talked about.
And thus,
don't watch the special at all ever.
Before I let you guys go, I'm going to ask you one last question. The question I've never asked a guest at the end of the show ever before, but I will ask it this time. That was good, right? That was all right?
I just remembered something before
I'm ending the record. Okay, what?
I'm stopping. My recording stopped. There's nothing
Keep
we
it
can do.